There we go. What is up, beautiful people? It's Wolf Brother Methos Kushranada from the channel Frost and Fist. And my amazing brother in the Fist t-shirt over there.
What's going on, guys? This is Freak from the channel Frost and Fist, and welcome to the show.
And we have an ultra special guest today. Someone whose channel has been coming up for a while, but he's been working a billion hours a week. His channel's coming, though, and he's going to have some great content. Guys, welcome to the show. Hell Works by HellChyld. Sorry, just go straight for HellChyld. And I'm like, wait, there's a whole name that goes with it. His channel's coming,
right. Have some great content. HellChyld, Hellworks. Oh, hey, that sounds familiar. I know that guy.
Thanks for inviting me, guys.
So give us a little bit about yourself, Brother Thomas.
I've been in Warhammer 40K since the Stone Age, when they still called it Rogue Trader. Mostly Space Wolves and Night Lords for the last 30-odd years.
And Thomas does some amazing work. His Space Wolves definitely knock it out of the park. Almost everything is converted, which I love about his army.
Crazy conversion skills, man.
I'm definitely what they call a kit basher, because nothing remains what it's supposed to be.
But you make it work. I mean, I've seen some kid bashing that looks like it was literally bashed by kids. You know, I mean, your stuff looks really, really good. It actually looks like it works. It melds. You know. So,
yeah, some kid bashing out there. I think they dropped their big box and said, "Oh, look, that'll go together."
Hey guys, don't talk about me like that. All right, guys, we've got Malaga War Games and Lord 17C in the chat. What up?
Malaga War Games is on. Hey, ¿cómo estamos? Qué tremendo pedo.
Malaga War Games is the amazing hobby artist that built me this badass lone wolf that has been featured in many of our battle reports. So really amazing work by Malaga War Games. So good to see you, my brother. And then Lord 17C has some really awesome Space Wolves he's been working on. And so I definitely love following his progress on his Space Wolf army. He's got some other cool armies, but his Space Wolves are definitely my favorite reason for going to his channel. So what up, guys? So we usually start this off with hobby progress. Brother Thomas, as our guest, what you been working on, man? What you got for a poke chop?
I like pork chops.
All I've been working at is thinking about what I want to work on. Because all the billion hours at work.
Billions of hours at work.
Stuff in the works. I got an Astraeus that's just going to get a paint job. I got the new Black Wolf conversion coming, bringing him into 40K from 30K.
So those who don't know, tell us a little bit about your Black Wolf project.
I play a 30K Black Wolf or a 30K Space Wolf company that went with Roost into the Eye of Terror and have recently come back out of the Eye of Terror, going, what happened here?
This stuff is not like we left it.
Somebody left the door open on the cabinet. All the meat's gone.
Somebody's very angry.
So if he went in with Roos, do they know how they got separated from Roos?
He basically gave them a target to hit. They went and hit their target, and when they came back to where they were supposed to rendezvous, Roos was not there. So it's kind of been a track and find since then, but with the time fluctuations and everything else about the Eye of Terror, they're like, we just saw him like a couple of years ago. What do you mean 10,000 years have passed?
I like that. That's a really good point I'd like to point out, because that's such a point of contention amongst Space Wolves fans. And it's all, most Space Wolf fans, I'm okay with it either way, but something a lot of Space Wolf fans are like ready to fight about off the bat. So let us know down in the comments below, whether it's to you, it's Russ or Roos. A lot of people have some contention about that. Me, I'm chill with it either way. I like both
Me too.
pronunciations.
Yeah, I can go with
Yeah,
that.
depending on what day it is, potato. Sometimes it's
Right.
roost, sometimes it's rust.
I think Ruse sounds really cool. It sounds a little more Nordic, you know. It just sounds I don't know. I kind of like that. Like
Yeah, I
that too.
agree. Roost seems to sound better, but
Yeah.
them guys named Russ out there probably think it's Russ.
Yeah. That ain't the name. That ain't my name. My name's short for Rusty. Well, hell, why would I call him Bruce? The hell's wrong with you guys? Y'all are stupid. I'm gonna dislike.
Rick, don't piss off all our Space Wolf fans out there, my man. And I think I'm okay with it both ways for myself because with myself, I listen to a lot of the audiobooks, right? And some of them Horus Heresy, some of them 40K, and I think just even the Space Wolves, in the as far, I mean, I know it's really just the voice actors, but whether it's the you know it seems like even the wolves themselves don't really know because it's been 10,000 years.
That's a good
Even they
point.
can't agree on the pronunciation.
That's a good point.
The only one that would really know would be Bjorn. And
Yeah.
Bjorn's like, sorry, I'm taking a nap. Bug me later.
Call me tomorrow.
It's funny because in the lore he's like almost never woken up because he's too important, and too old. But because we all use him in the battlefield, if you really went by battlefield statistics, it's like he gets woken up every 5 minutes.
Right.
If not, Bjorn says, I'm going to bed. Somebody else walks through the door going, hey, I need you, buddy.
He's like,
Bjorn's like, I
hate
haven't
you
slept
all.
in 10,000 years. What do you mean I'm always sleeping?
I hate you all.
Sorry, buddy. We got a 1,500-point skirmish. No, call me for something important.
They installed Red Bull into his dreadnought sarcophagus.
Ye old Red Bull.
Red Bull, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't like the newfangled stuff.
He's like, what do you mean this isn't mead? Wow, I don't need mead no more.
You imagine him, right? He's sitting out on his lawn chair, see all these trespassers coming on to the get off my lawn. Frankie, old man.
At the airport this morning, I had to ditch a full unopened new can of Red Bull just because, when you don't get enough sleep, sometimes your stomach is all wobbly and stuff, and I only got like 3 hours of sleep or so. So, yeah, I just couldn't chug it all right there. So I had to throw the whole unopened can away. That sucked. All right. So you told us a little bit about your Black Wolf, and you've done a Black Wolf before, right?
Correct. I converted the Forge World Horus into the Black Wolf.
That is a badass conversion. You know what, Freak? We should have had a picture of this pulled up. But I totally didn't think about it until I'm sitting here interviewing him right now. But man, this guy's Black Wolf project looks amazing. We'll put it up on the Frost and Fish Facebook page and our Instagram page later on, though, so you guys can check it out because his Black Wolf looks amazing. And I'm really excited to talk about that because it was based on Horus's model, so it has a custom pose. It's big and imposing looking, but also because he's carrying on that same tradition, and you've got a new one that you bought parts to work on for this weekend, right?
Oh, yeah. I've already got Abaddon.
The new big beefy Abaddon.
Okay, he was supposed to get it tomorrow. That didn't happen.
Yeah, my local store owner told me they came in today on FedEx, and I was like, okay, I'll be there at lunch.
Tires squealing out of the parking lot before the game store owner even hangs up.
I didn't think he even stopped. I think he drove the car right into the front of the store. All right, I'm here.
I heard Abaddon was here. I got here as fast as I could.
Definitely.
Come on, quick. We got a show to go. Come on.
I was like, I got stuff to do. Give it over.
Freak, my brother, this is your first opportunity to hobby this week, right?
Yes.
What you working on, brother? What you got for a poke chop?
All right. So I'm working on the last aggressor. I actually had one hanging around here. So I'm working on the last one on this on the commission, and I'm actually working on the rest of these commission pieces. So, so nice to actually get to do something. You notice I've got a little setup. I'm actually now the camera's here, getting a shot of my workspace, and my good mic is actually hanging. But I'm going to be changing things around. I actually ordered an adjustable boom mic, or a mic boom. Because right now the one I have it's adjustable, but it doesn't stay. You got to lock it in and all that crap. So it's not automatic. This is more like a regular singer's mic stand that I had. So, but it's doing a job, and it seems to be holding up.
Yeah, it adjusts the pose a little bit so that way you can get your hobby on while we do this live show. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I want to do. I just wanted to get an opportunity to be able to put some paint down while we chatted a little bit, because I have not been able to do that the last couple of times. And here I am, talking to you guys. Y'all just going to town. And I'm thinking, I want a hobby. So.
I'm living vicariously through both of you.
Arch is a beast during this show. Our brother Archer, man, it seems like every time we do this live show, our brother Archer's like, yeah, I assembled a 2,000-point army while you guys were talking. I'm like, what the hell?
Exactly. Yeah.
Assembled and base.
That man,
yep.
That man is definitely a hobby expert.
Monster.
And now that he's got an airbrush, he told us in this live chat just a couple weeks ago, he got in a brand new airbrush and he has gone beast mode on it. Yeah. The other day I was talking to him. He's like, yeah, I decided to airbrush 2 armies today. I'm like, what?
Dude, talk about Red Bull.
Yeah, that guy's got
Red
some.
Bull nothing. I think he stopped at the corner and picked something up.
Give me a break. Quick. I got some stuff to do.
If it wasn't for the fact I know him real well and knew he wouldn't, I'd be like, what are you drinking? It's not Monster and it's not Red Bull.
So yeah,
and where can we get this speed?
So that's kind of what I'm working on, Methos. Just kind of knocking out the rest of because here's the thing. I actually started another part of a commission. It's a different commission. It's actually a Venerable Dreadnought for our buddy Steve in our group chat. And it's actually going to be Dark Angels. So it's going to be cool.
Dress wearers.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It is what it is. More green.
Have to work on those heretical Dark Angels. I got no room to talk. It's a different shade of green,
okay? So I'm just saying.
I've got no room to talk since I'll eventually be working on some of Darian's Black Legion. So,
but what I hear in my hands, that I'm excited for.
What is it? What is it? What is it?
Here's the question, though, Freak. You're painting Dark Angels. Are they Luther's Dark Angels or are they the Lion's Dark Angels?
I don't know. I think it'll probably be Lions. I have to check with him to see how he wants to, which way he wants to go with it. But
the reason I say that is because of Dark Angel lore and fluff.
Yeah.
The original Dark Angels that followed the Lion wore black armor. Ooh. Luther's Dark Angels that took over Caliban and all that wore green armor.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to check with the man and see how he wants to go.
But Luther's are the fallen, right?
But yet they say all of the fallen followed Luther, but yet most of them are wearing black and red armor.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like even Cypher wears black armor.
Yeah. Everybody seems to be going with a black armor thingy.
Cypher, the greatest double agent in all of Horus Heresy and 40K.
Yeah.
I thought he was just bipolar.
So no, actually, this is the Wolf King himself, dude. Talk about Roos. Roos. So really excited to work with
Is there some chat that's popped up? Mine stopped at like 6:32. Let me log back in.
The what? What happened?
Oh, I was just checking the chat because mine didn't update.
Oh.
Oh yeah, a whole bunch of chat. Hey, Nerdopolis Prime has jumped in. Nice. Malaga says we want stream. Finally caught you on stream. Darklight Dreamer says yo. Lord 17C waves. Malaga says hey bien. So something is good.
Muy bien. All right. Ya, ¿cómo estamos? Y tranquilo.
I had us talking about Lord 17C earlier. He said he was blushing. That's awesome. Atomic Dog Scale Model Freak Brian says, "What's up, my dude?" Malaga says, "I want to show you all the wolves I have to paint." Oh, you've got a wolf project going on. That's awesome. To your point, Thomas. Malaga says that's because all the black and red armor were Terrans in the army. That's interesting. Darklight Dreamer says Cypher from the Matrix too. Hey, I never noticed the correlation there. Nerdopolis says, "You bastards! It's 2:45 in the morning here. What a sacrifice to watch the lovely boys here. Worth every yawn." He even gives us a little kissy.
Aww. Smooches. Smoochies. Yeah,
Malaga's also... Darklight says Cypher is a very popular double agent name, apparently. That's a good point. And Malaga says you speak very nice Spanish, freak. I know you ain't talking about my Spanish.
No.
It's muy bien.
Muy bien. It's muy bueno. Mucho bueno with nachos and cheese and tacos, and it's delicious.
I'll take a taco.
I thought it was
I'll take taco band.
A veces que lo hago quebrado, pero aquí ando con la lucha, tú sabes.
That hurt even me.
Lily just said my Spanish just hurt even her. What's funny is she took Spanish in school and she actually speaks it pretty decently.
No, just a little bit, not decently.
And when we were managers at GameStop, she was the one that could speak the Spanish, but they used to come up to this Thai Italian man and speak Spanish at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I would just look over at her helplessly. Most of the time she would choose to help. Sometimes she would just smile and look away.
You're on your own, pal.
And then after they left, she's like, "That's hilarious because I'm the one that speaks the Spanish." I'm like, "I know!"
Except for in those times I couldn't actually understand what they were saying. I don't speak it decently, just a little bit.
I'm here to rail your 40K talk as usual. Have you guys seen the Borderlands 3 trailer? I caught snippets of it, Darklight, but my signal at my hotel room was terrible, so it kept starting the trailer and then freezing. And then 10 minutes later, I tried again. It would start the trailer and freeze again. And I'm like, I just want to watch this trailer.
I just hate that it's going to go epic, man. I was really hoping it'd come out on Steam. It will after a year, but it just kind of sucks.
No, is it one of those console exclusive?
Yeah, it is. They're trying to push it to exclusive. I mean, maybe Darklight can shed light on that, but I believe that's where they're going with that. And then, of course, after the year, then
you should go console anyway, so you can play with me.
I need a console. I don't have a PS4.
Xbox One.
Yeah, unfortunately, Thomas and I are on opposite ends of that split.
Yeah.
Well, I heard a rumor the other day that Blizzard actually made it so that it doesn't matter if you've got an Xbox One, a PS4, or a computer. You can all play Diablo 3 and actually commingle the parties.
Oh, cross-platform, you mean?
Yeah, I know that if you're on PS4 and the computer, they can do it. Mm-hmm. My brother does it regularly, but I haven't found out if Xbox One actually did it because you know how Microsoft is.
Yeah.
Oh, for what game?
Diablo 3.
I want to get it.
Oh, cool.
My
Final
boss
Fantasy
actually was telling
also
me
does
about it.
that. Like most of my guild play stuff on PlayStation, and I join them on Final Fantasy on. I'm sorry, most of my guild plays on the computer, and I join them on my PlayStation.
Yeah, that's actually. I tell you what, I think they did a great job with that going cross-platform. You know, I mean, that's what everything needs to go by, man. Seriously, that's just a great way to do it.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree.
I want a
Okay, I lost
PS4,
somebody.
but I want it for Gods of War 4.
Oh, the new God of War just looks amazing. I've started it. All my friends tell me it's amazing, but my wife tells me it's amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing. But yeah, I haven't actually. I've played just the prologue. I haven't had a chance to really sit down with it. Got too many
The
games
bad
in my
thing is,
backlog. So.
I don't own a PS4, and I've already beat Gods of War 4.
Really?
Yeah, I went over to my buddy's house.
That's the way to do it.
That's what friends are for.
Good, shut
Let's
the
see.
door.
Malaga is laughing at my Spanish. Brian says, Yo quiero Taco Bell. Razzie says, the Borderlands looks amazing. He said that they're going to Epic yet. He didn't hear that yet. Basically, Epic provides developers a larger cut of profit, which is why some developers are going to Epic.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it's mainly developer friendly, not user friendly.
Right.
Store is really not. I imagine another year or so they'll probably get up to par with Steam, which is good. Because Steam definitely needs some competition, right? That'll help. With but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep my mind open on all that.
Malaga asks what we think about the new demons, and we'll be going into that with the news here in a little bit. So my progress for the week is I mentioned kind of on our short 15-minute stream last week that I finished up all those 16 Tau infantry, which is awesome, and they actually look pretty good together. At first, I wasn't too crazy about them, but after I hit them with the matte varnish, just something about it just came together. So really pleased with that. The client loved them, so I'm going to be continuing on. And if you guys will excuse me going off camera for a second, I've already started. Got this baby primed up. So this is my next Tau project. You know, I figured after going, with the basic troops, let's go ahead and go challenge mode. So I'm just eager to get in there, start airbrushing stuff, making it pop and pizzazz a little bit.
Is that similar to the one that I painted?
No. This is called the Storm Surge. It's the next size up of a Riptide.
Oh wow!
But it doesn't look as big though because it doesn't it's big, but it's squat. It doesn't have any arms. It's just got the rocket pods.
Yeah, you're right. It just got pooping.
Not to quote on somebody else, but there's a really cool conversion kit on Shapeways for the Storm Surge where you take that gun off his shoulders and he's actually holding it like a broadside, or one of those.
Like an Optimus Prime rifle is what it looks like to me.
Up on the shoulders. If I ever go Tau, I'm gonna have to get the kit.
I can definitely understand that, and we definitely don't shy away from talking about Shapeways on this show because I use Shapeways products all the time in my showcases. Don't get me wrong, I understand that I wouldn't be able to take Shapeways into a GW tournament or whatever, but honestly,
guys, I'm on a phone. Out.
I don't think I've actually ever been in an actual GW store before. Just because, here it's mostly all about the local stores, So
sounds like Texarkana. We got one local store, and I am happy that they're opening a Games Workshop in Shreveport. So I only have to drive an hour and a half to go to the Games Workshop.
Methos was telling me that there's a new Games Workshop that's opened up here in Spring. I'm like, I did not know that at all. That was the one that I was actually trying to get on board with.
Yeah, when he started this hobby journey, he was actually interviewing to run one of the GW stores.
Yeah, I went through 4 interviews with them, and they finally said, "No, you know what? We're just going Go something else. Kind of worked out though.
Yeah. And still, even though you didn't get it, it was definitely the first stepping stone for us to start this.
It really was. It really, really was. This is how it all started because I called you. Actually, we hadn't even talked to each other in 2 years. You know, we kind of lost touch, and that's when I reached out to you, and I was like, "Dude, you know, don't you play Warhammer?" I thought for some reason I found out. He goes, "I sure do," and that's what he just invited me to game night. You know, I'm like, oh, yeah,
did you say Warhammer?
right? Warhammer. So yeah, so his ears perked up, invited me to the first game. I really loved it, and you know, and okay, I'm gonna all honesty here, right? What I liked the most was the sense of community more so than the actual game. I'm going to just tell you right now, just the fact that, you know, everybody got together, everybody, you know, knew each other, you know, there was Lily with the kids and, you know, all the guys, and it was just a very good time. And I honestly miss that. I really do. I miss that, you know.
Yeah. I wish we could go back to the smaller store.
I know.
For sure.
It was definitely, there was definitely a sense of intimacy there that you lose on these larger stores that all they think about is, you know, putt crap, you know, so laser tag. Okay. Have fun with their laser tag there.
Darklight says, is developer friendly, not in turn user friendly at the end?
Right.
Since it helps developer makes better games in the future?
Yeah. That's Epic Store. Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
You two assemble, Malaga says, you two assemble a painting studio at the end. You got a lot of commissions. Honestly, I would love to get there one day. That's kind of our dream is, you know, one day open up a game store / painting studio and honestly just be able to paint all day. That would be amazing.
Oh, man. That would be the dream. And then do this at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, whenever the store's not running, you know, just sit and paint and put on the live chat, you know.
Yeah, things are going, and
you could even set it up where your painting studio's got some of them the little GoPro cameras or whatever, so people can see what's going on there in the studio over the day.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I want to do that. You know, I mean, if I'm going to pick my nose, I want to pick my nose in private.
You would know where the camera angles are, man.
Dude, if I'm going to go digging for gold, the last thing I'm thinking about is the camera angles.
Camera 3, Freak's picking his nose again.
Oh, man, I forgot we got cameras.
That's funny.
And I roll ones anyway,
I could see that.
It could be worse, man. How many times do you see somebody at Walmart or something picking something else?
Well, you know, good point. But we're talking about Walmart here, bro. They have their own website now. I mean, come on. At least the
people of Walmart.
Classic. That's something that our UK friends, you know, they get.
And you know that also goes. That also goes with another point we talk about pretty frequently is, you know, people think that we get kind of bad here on the channel, you know, with our mouth, but only they hear when the camera is off.
It's true. We were actually talking about that. You know, I was telling Methos, I said, you know, we were actually just kind of, we chat during the week and it's like, you know, it's crazy because sometimes, you know, we get carried away, you know, we goof off, you know, we have a good old time, especially when we're actually together in the same room, you know, we're just a big mess. But man, when the camera's off, we dial it down a lot. So
we had just got done with a somewhat, I wouldn't say vulgar conversation, but a very okay, kind of a vulgar conversation the other day. We're like, how did we even get to this conversation?
Yeah, I was like, what happened? Where did we go off the rails on this one? Oh, who cares? Keep going. It's like, what's going on? What is happening?
One of the highlights of being in this hobby, we used to go play at this local store all the time when I lived out on the West Coast. One of my friends actually went out and bought me a T-shirt that said "Parental Advisory, Strong Language."
That is so fitting for you, man.
I had to wear it at the store so the parents would know who to keep their kids away from.
Stay away from him. Don't look at him. He might go away.
And I used to have like much casually filthier mouth before having kids, but that definitely for me changed everything.
Oh man, yeah, the kids do it.
That's when I switched, and it's funny because I still had the tendencies. So as my nicotine patch for a little while, I really still do this now, but it was a lot more prevalent when it was really filling in the missing gap. I had to switch to aggressive lettering. Like sometimes I would throw down my Halo controller during a Halo night with all our friends, and man, there'd just be a string of letters. It's kind of funny.
You could always do like alphanumeric, like the military code. You'd be sitting there, Foxtrot uniform. The only problem is your kids are still going to be going, I don't know what that means, but I can repeat that too.
Oh my God. The other day, we were watching a show called Outlaw Star, classic anime from back in the day. And, the bounty hunter, Gene Starwind, somebody says something to the bounty hunter, and the bounty hunter says, "Oh yeah, well I don't really give a shit." And my babyist goes, "I don't even know what shit is."
Oh my god!
And I put on my very professional daddy face, going, "Baby, that's not a word we say." But the inside of me was trying not to die laughing, like. I mean, she said it so seriously and casually that I died a little on the inside. It was hilarious and wrong.
Well, you may have died a little bit on the inside while the rest of you was trying not to fall on the floor laughing.
Exactly.
Okay, gotta go there.
I always
Man,
think
I am
it's funny
trying to.
when my 3-year-old or my 5-year-old uses one of those words and uses it in the right context and everything else. And they're totally serious. And you look at them and you like raise an eyebrow or just give them the look and they're like, sorry.
Y'all know better.
But it's true.
My 5-year-old actually looked at me one day and said, but I used it right.
It's in perfect syntax.
I guess it's hard to argue with them at that point.
Yeah. So, what else you worked on, Methos?
If I am lucky, I will be finishing finally the 7 Cavalry I've been working on since November.
Wow.
So November, December, January, February, March, going into April. Wow. This project of working on Cavalry has literally taken me 6 months.
Yeah, but you've been consistent,
Yeah, and I've been, I've really been working on it as a side project, amongst other things, but.
And you've been enjoying it. That's the big thing, It's kind of.
Plus, it's
Malaga
not the only
says
thing you're working on.
exactly. Let's see. Malaga said I guess this was where we were talking. We don't really have a GW shop super close to us. It's mostly local shops. He says he has a GW 2 streets from his house.
Oh wow!
And 2 shops within at 10 minutes of driving, and 1 shop within 25 minutes of drive. So GW is off and popping in his hometown.
Are they all GW stores, or are they just like a GW and normal stores? I mean, because they don't usually put them so close together.
Yeah, at least one of them's a GW. Maybe the other 2 are just hobby stores.
Is he on the other side of the pond? Because think about it. There's multiple countries over there that fit in our state.
Yeah, he's out of Malaga, Spain, actually.
That's why they're packed in so much closer.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Okay. Malaga also says he's editing a video for later while chatting with us. That's awesome.
That's so
Roxas
cool.
is in the chat. What up? I was just telling the guys before I left town. This is what I started working on right before I left for my trip. After getting your approval on the infantry guys, so this is my next big project, Beast. And I let him cure for a few days after getting a good prime on him, so he's just about ready to start working on him.
My IT brother, how are you doing? Methos is crunching those Tau out, man.
Working on it.
Yeah. So here's something.
Lily.
Go ahead, Methos.
Lily is also in the chat. My beautiful wife says this episode is brought to you today by the letter F. Oh, especially as we start going talking about the news, it will definitely be brought to you by the letter F.
So
I thought it was brought to us by the letter 3 and the number
F. Let's see. Malaga says only one of them is GW and the rest are hobby shops.
That's what I thought.
Roxas says he's just glad I'm watching Outlaw Star. I'm finally getting around. You know, I've seen scattered episodes. It's nice to actually watch them in order, you know. So this is cool. And getting to share it with Tiff and the kids. Except for every once in a while, you know, Gene gets a little racy with the ladies and we got to have them close their eyes.
Did you use foul language in front of the ladies again? No, Daddy, no. I'm sorry. If you don't know what that movie reference is, you probably have more brain cells than I do.
So, yeah, that's my hobby project. The other hobby progress for the week is a super huge bit of progress for me because I had mentioned before on this show that my last game was somewhere mid-December. So we actually have a game scheduled for tomorrow. I'm so pumped.
Yep. I'm super pumped with this.
Super pumped with this. Brian says is that Mr. Deeds?
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you. Someone who likes brain cells like I do. Oh, thank you. I'm so mad. I love Adam Sandler, man. Your high quality H2O.
I think I like Happy Gilmore.
Oh my God, I do too. My fingers hurt. I'm sorry, what? My fingers hurt. Oh, well, your back's going to hurt because now you're pull landscaping duty. Anybody else's fingers hurt? Didn't think so. The price is wrong, Bob. I'm sorry, I can do movie quotes all day.
So finally, the last 3 of these cavalry, and I just glued on their shield arms. The weapon arms are magnetized, but they are pretty, I mean, they are so close to being finished. I got their bodies glued on now. They got their shields on. They got their weapons magnetized. All of that is painted up. I just have to finish painting their backpacks and glue them on, and then paint up their heads and glue it on, and they're ready for basing. So by this week, I'm gonna go ahead and say by tomorrow they will be painted.
Man, dude, are you gonna pull them out for the game or?
I might. If we're doing a night battle, my night list does not currently include them.
Okay.
And I know we haven't played with our knights since we made them.
Right. I mean, we'll have to dig through.
Brian says sneaky, sneaky. He also says Tom Turturro as the butler in that movie is a crack up. Yes. Darkfly says his hobby progress for the week. He's been playing Evil Within. Final level of sneakiness. So that's awesome. We'll have to talk about that with Darklight. I don't remember which one is Evil Within. All right. Freakaliciousness, you want to move on to the news?
Yeah, let me close up my stuff here.
I was about to say, let me know when you get to a good hobby, a pause spot so in your hobby, so that way you can pilot the screen.
Yeah, because I'm kind of doing a little tad of highlighting here for the gold. And it's coming out nice. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Oh, that's very nice. we go. So here's something that I'll put out there while I'm doing this, because I just need to lay this down real quick.
Sure.
Not sure if it's something that that the audience would really care for, but something that Methos, and I actually ran it by Methos just thinking about it. But one of my thoughts is to actually have hobby time, but doing it streaming, because honestly, I'm really limited on time. So sitting down and editing videos, I can do it, yeah, but it's going to be limited on what I do. So it'll cut down on my time. The easiest thing for me is to actually get two cameras, one like facing me, and the other one actually facing down on the actual table, so I can have two shots going at the same time. So it'd be a really cool opportunity to do, like, just a hobby time, especially if I'm doing airbrushing and and just
Kind of like they do on Twitch.
yeah, exactly, kind of like that. Something that
I'd be
I'm
willing.
really.
I'd be willing to take that same after your live stream, download the footage and edit it into a comprehensive tutorial, if you like.
Yeah.
Since you'll be limited on time, just so that way, in case they don't want to watch the 2 hour version, they can watch the 15-minute version.
The bullet points. Another thing too that I don't know if you guys would consider is we were actually, and I ran this by Methos, but I really am thinking of we're considering doing a Patreon page. Just a little something to kind of help support the channel, because we're getting to that point
I
now
will come get
where
dinner in a couple of minutes. I'm doing something.
uh,
Thank you.
we're looking to help fund some of the things that we're doing on the channel, and of course, uh, you know, gear and things like that, and be able to get stuff to talk about, just to kind of help the channel, going on through its continual growth. I think that would be a nice opportunity. Again, these are just things that we were just thinking about. We're not looking to pull any triggers right away, but something that we probably will definitely be looking into here in the near future. Just curious to see what our subscribers think about that.
I don't know about everybody else, but I could definitely stand behind a patron for you guys.
I appreciate that, man.
Sweet. Man, appreciate that a lot. What does?
Okay, let me clean this up and then get you the. Let's see.
So you were quoting Waterboy, and Brian says, "Painting miniatures is the devil, Bobby Boucher."
Not the devil. And I seen their boobies, and I like them too.
I asked Darklight what Evil Within was like. The title's familiar, but I can't imagine automatically think of it. He says it's grueling and stressful as well as creepy. So
I would love to see him do a let's play on that. Oh man, I can't imagine. I know it's not on VR, but oh man, I can't imagine that game on VR. Oh,
That sounds like my last day at work.
Dude, it's a pretty intense. I've seen some of the let's play on it. It's pretty jacked up. All right, guys, let's see what we got here.
And now for the news. Don't touch that dial.
Don't touch yourself. Wait, what?
Razzie says so much meow in the background.
Yeah, he's probably talking about my crazy cat.
Okay. And I like to make sure that it's. All right, guys. You see it okay?
Looks good here.
So here's something that I thought was really, really, really cool. Of course, this is slightly older news, but we're going to kind of cover it anyway. Because we never got a chance to actually do it last week, part of it. And I don't think you can hear me. Let me get my move mic here. So the new Havocs is what they're calling them. And basically, it's, of course, it seems like, okay, I'm not going to get this salt train started here, but I'm just going to say that we have been getting nothing but chaos. It has been nonstop chaos party since the beginning of the year, actually since, the beginning of the year. And I don't know, man. I think they're cool. Don't get me wrong. I think they look amazing. They look like amazing models. But come on, man. Enough with the chaos already.
My son loves those models. Like his favorite chaos model in general is Havoc's, and he loves the new skulls. So I'm glad there.
Yeah, look at them. They
chaos,
look.
Oh yeah, they definitely look amazing. While chaos doesn't do anything for me in particular, I do understand that they have gone a long time without new models. So I definitely get that, that they're getting some love now.
As one of the dinosaurs of the hobby, I'm glad they're finally showing Chaos some love, even though we still got a couple more weeks of new stuff coming out. Because like 90% of the kits that they're replacing with these new replacements are like older than some of your kids. My kids are only 3 and 5, but still.
Yeah.
Like the Havoc's kit is probably been around 15 years.
Really? Has it been
Wow.
that? I didn't realize
like
that.
The Corn Berserker kit's been around since like the late 90s.
When did they start going to full plastic kits?
Well, even the old original Rogue Trader kits were all plastic,
Oh,
but
really?
they went from solid plastic to plastic metal hybrids. It's like the bodies were metal with the arms being plastic and stuff, and then they went back to all plastic. But I want to say the Corn Berserker kit came out like 96 or 97, I want to say. It may have been earlier than that. So don't quote me,
Wow.
but I know that they've been around a minute. But the thing I like about the new Chaos models that they're coming out with, like the Havocs, for example, they're progressing the fluff with the models at the same time because the new Havoc, they're kind of like mini obliterators. They're starting to meld with their guns and mutations to help their position in the squad is happening.
I know. I mean, I can respect that. It's, again, we're talking about, pardon the phrase, balls to the walls here. I mean, they're going absolute all out, and we're going from one extreme to the other.
At least it's not a Primaris lieutenant.
Well, I don't know.
Raz mentioned, because I was asking him about Dying Light, he said that much like the Resident Evil, your ammo is so limited that it makes everything difficult and it's so unforgiving. Malaga says you'll have 3 more weeks of Chaos, Freak. You need something to fight against. And he said, don't worry, the Eldar are next. And apparently Malaga spent $650 to renew everything this month. I guess he put everything in the updated Chaos sculpts and all that.
Man. I don't know, man. It's like the whole orc invasion thing all over again, I don't know.
I hate to break it to you, Freak. You haven't been in the hobby long enough to start noticing this pattern yet, but it happens every year.
I believe it. Yeah, I kind of came in towards the tail end of 7th, so.
I mean, they had the Orc Speed Freak invasion. They had the Necron invasion. They had the Tau resettling.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just okay. I'll just save that for later. All right, let me just keep looking. What I did find that I personally, and let me move my is it won't even matter. I don't know why I'm looking in the camera. Nobody can see me anyway. All right. Okay, first of all, I gotta say this. I've got a lot of positive to say about how GW is boxing their models now. I really like the way that they consolidate their sprues. I think it's a heck of a lot better organized and a lot easier to be able to get to. Instead of, a large box full of just, sprues with a lot of empty space. They're putting them all, a lot closer together, which is cool. And you can get to them a lot easier. That's just my take on it.
I agree. I also noticed that anything that if I buy a box of something that's an older kit, like the old Termy sprues and stuff like that, some of those kits are like really convolutedly laid out. Like you need an arm from this sprue, but you got to go to sprue B for this leg, and you got to go to sprue whatever for the shield, and it's just like what? Yep. But like a lot of the stuff is like it's laid out in a logical place. So.
Yeah, exactly. Matter of fact, about 2 years ago, it was almost like filing for your own taxes. It's like, what do you mean? I need that form? What? What? I can't even spell that form.
You're picking up like 5 or 6 different sprues. Is this the one I need? Where's that head? I'm looking for this head.
I thought the old sprues were just teaching you the 4-letter words that you were saying.
Okay, so these guys look so freaking awesome. I am a huge fan of Terminators. As a matter of fact, quick story, I fell in love with Terminators when our good friend James, who's used to frequent the store a lot, where we used to go. Man, he says, "Oh, you want some Terminators? Here you go," and just gave me a whole bunch of Terminator squads, and I was like, "What the man?" And I got an opportunity to paint them, to paint them my Imperial Fist colors, and oh man, I just love them. And ever since then, I've just been a huge fan of the Terminators. And as aggressors, they kind of almost carry themselves the same way. They're just really heavy armored. But if you look at these guys, man, I mean, they've got excellent melee weapons as well as amazing, distance weapons. It's just looks great. And I love the additions, man. They look like little mini Abaddons. They just look so cool.
Yep. Yeah, I can't wait to convert them into Space Wolves.
I can see that as a good conversion. Now you think about it. Oh man, dude, that would look really cool. And instead of other, what do you call it, Space Marine helmets, you can put like Tau helmet and I don't know, stuff that we don't like. I don't know. Anyway, so I thought that
I love that the steam dies off right there after we mention the Tau. Like people we don't like Tau. We could put some Tau on there.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of Tau with a sprinkle of Tau.
Just anybody we want to stop existing, like the Tau.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? I don't want to just be all exclusive Tau here. We need to also include other factions such as Tau and Tau.
Oh yeah, because my form of trauma comes from Tau. Roxas says he's feeling very attacked right now. Well, my trauma mostly comes from the Tau. Freak's actual most hated enemy is the Necrons.
Yep. I cringe every time I see Nick go, Necrons! And his sweet, beautiful little girl, Necrons! And I'm like,
Tiff goes, or Lily goes, Necrons in the background here. She may not play, but she still loves the Necrons. Malaga says Eldar coming up next. Darklight goes, yeah, Eldar. So it's awesome to see him get a little GW excitement there. That's awesome.
Hey, with that.
Roxas says you should be nice to the Tau. I hold your life in my hands tomorrow. He's my raid leader and my one of the two healers for tomorrow. So yeah, I mean the Tau are okay. They're not so bad. Please don't kill me. Our healer slash raid leader will sometimes jump sometimes at the end, sometimes just when he feels like it, he'll jump off the edge of the arena and use rescue to pull someone to him and pull him off the edge of the arena with him. He's definitely not afraid to kill his team. He says he makes no promises.
Yeah.
So what size was that Tau Suck shirt you wanted, Methos?
Hmm? I don't know what you're talking about, good sir.
Yeah, remember, you roll 6s all this week. Yeah, you're about due for some ones, pal. Just saying. So anyway, so I thought these models look absolutely amazing. Now, then you get to these guys. Oh,
When I get
man.
done with this, if you want to go ahead and put it up, go ahead and put it up.
Okay.
I like the Night Lord.
You like the Night Lord? I love that. Oh, man.
That Alpha Legion does look badass, though.
I have always loved the way. What is that? Is that Sons of Horus or is that Alpha Legion?
I think that's might be Alpha. Is it Alpha Legion?
That's Alpha Legion because it's got that blue-green to it.
Yeah.
The Sons of Horus were more like a teal.
I've always loved the way Alpha Legion looks. And I was like, for a little while there, I was like, man, if I played Chaos, I might play Alpha Legion. But then I read their books, and every single one of them put me to sleep. So I just can't stand the political intrigue thing. It's just really, it's like the parts I fast forward through in V. V for Vendetta.
Think of Methos. Shadow Spear Primaris would be Loyalist Alpha Legion.
That's interesting. Now, Iron Warriors there. I'm reading. The hell am I reading? I'm currently reading. Let me look up on my phone here. I'm currently reading one of the audiobooks of the Iron Warriors, and actually, he's a little bit of a D, but I'm kind of liking Perturabo and the Iron Warriors. They've got, they're on the wrong side of the war, but they still got a sense of honor to them. It's Angel Exterminatus.
Okay.
And, yeah, really good. Actually, I made Stephanie cry. V is her favorite. I still like the movie V for Vendetta. I just fast forward through the political parts. Just like I want to fast forward through all of the Alpha Legion books, the whole thing. But the Iron Warriors there, very cool though.
I like them, man. I mean, again, it's okay. See, for me, yeah, the fluff is cool. I just like the way they look.
They look awesome. I don't know if you're allowed to like them though.
Do what?
I don't know if you're allowed to like them though. I like them, but I don't know if you're allowed to. They are the direct opposition to the Imperial Fists.
Oh, I know. It's like the yang instead of the yin. Yeah, I get it. It's just they look so freaking cool.
They really do, though.
And that's. I guess that's why I'm attracted to it. You know, I'm like a parrot. You know, ooh, shiny. All right, Night Lords.
That's just pretty.
That looks cool to me. I have to say, I'm a little biased because they were like my first big break into miniature painting.
That was your first
and so, yeah. I mean, my first one was actually a Tau, that super stealth thing.
Stealth suit? What?
No, not the stealth. The bigger one, the Ghost Keel. So that was my first commission, but my first actual army, though, was Night Lords.
Tau, you sure like to be around it a lot.
Man, when they pay money, I'll paint anything.
Everybody's got the price, huh?
Yep.
Okay, guys. I'm gonna pause here just for a second. We've got a very last minute surprise here, and
you have to pronounce it your special way when he comes on the screen.
Is heck will.
I want you to pronounce that to his face.
Okay, hold on. Let me just stop sharing just for a second because I need to get back to the deal here. All right, bear with me, guys.
The dealio.
Dealio, give me a dealio. Just a second, please. Okay. There it is. All right, guys. He is our friend that we were talking about. I want to kind of take the time to welcome to this very interesting stream and topic that he was really dying to get on board with because we just happen to be talking about chaos. So apparently, I think he wanted to chime in. So I want to welcome to the stream here to Froth and Fist. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome War Games from España. Bienvenido.
Hey, how are you guys? Hola, buenas.
Morning, buddy. You are up late, my friend.
Yeah. Actually, when you started your stream, I just finished mine.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I think I can put it on the computer. Except because I'm with the phone here. Yeah, I can do it with the computer. Just gonna handle a little bit and it's going to the next one. Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I actually spoke Spanish because once in a while I'll drop into your stream and I'm like, this is really cool. I wish I knew what everybody was saying.
Oh, yeah, that does make sense. Well, that's a good point.
Much better here. Hello again.
Hello. Otra vez bienvenido.
You're improving your Spanish, huh? All right, guys. It's a long time ago that I want to talk with you. With you too.
Awesome.
So what do you,
amazing couple.
It looks like you've got a lot to say about these chaos.
Oh yeah, I got a lot to say. Yeah, that's one of my main armies. I'm playing Black Legion, War Eaters, Alpha Legion, Night Lords, and Plague Marines, Warbirds. And
I remember you were doing English videos. You were doing a lot of World Eaters content at the time.
Yeah,
and man, you can paint those reds really nicely.
Thank you. Yeah, well, and then after that, I have to paint a Heresy World Eater. So I started to paint white like a shit. So yes, I got as well a huge experience with that. And now I'm painting. What's the last thing I'm painting? Here they are. Let's see if I can fit it on camera. I'm painting the generals, the ones from the Rogue Trade.
The Ambuls.
Yeah, no, actually, this is the Rogue Trader game.
The Plague Brutes or whatever they are.
The General Pox or something like that. It's the Rogue Trade that the kill team, and I'm enjoying it with them because I'm painting them. Well, actually, this is from Hungry Troll. This is a Spanish company, which is this is on resin, and it's like a spawn, but funny one with mouth open. And I'm just playing with different colors with this. Oh man,
you've got those Gellerpox colors down. You've got the perfect kind of putrid look going on. They look awesome.
Yeah. Well, I tried to paint them on different schemes. No, I was trying just different type of skins. So every of them I paint them different. Actually, this is only inks. I need to paint them. These are the.
Oh wow!
the green stuff wall intensive ink that are the same texture, the same properties like the Scale 75. So they are going really deep on the miniatures, and then I can start working with the paintbrush and all the shit, because this is going so crazy in Spain since January when they started with Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. These magazines.
I'm so lucky that they're getting that in Spain now.
You know, like for example, this is the Sorcerer, the Librarian, the Primaris one. It costs €9.99, which is around $11-12.
That's pretty awesome. That's half the price.
Yeah, actually, they announced they are gonna do it on summer. They started in France, and it's probably they start as well on Australia. So
yeah, Australia is supposed to start soon.
So USA is gonna be close. Maybe next year for summer they started. In the places that, well, actually in USA is gonna be easier because Australia is gonna be as well easy because they usually do the preset. They make a short launch of numbers in places where there is no Games Workshop shops. For example, in Spain or UK, it's complicated because there is a GW store in almost every city, you know. But it was quite easy to send them far away, and people was driving with the cars like crazy to buy all the numbers available.
Oh wow!
On the presets, yeah. It was people. I mean, I know people that they go like, you know, you got the typical family in the town far away on the north, and it's like, okay, could you check on the newspaper shop if they have this fascicle? Yeah, okay, buy all of them. I'm going this weekend. I'm going. Don't worry, I'm going. Just buy everything you fit, everything you take.
It was like Black Friday here in the States.
Oh yeah, it was like crazy, really. And now it's more or less the same because every time it appears one of the fascicles and you need to buy like 2 or 3, it's like war.
You know, I could see that happening here, Freak, because you know, like whenever something really good comes out from GW, and we've seen a couple of the guys like this at our game store. You know, something good comes out, like the data cards for the Knights. Remember? Oh, yeah. You know, we had guys go in and buying them all off the shelves, and it's like, why do you need 7 sets of that?
Right.
You know, well, I'm gonna put them up on eBay.
Right.
Yeah. Wow, you got the last example with the first number of the new Horus Heresy collection that they make. They actually published on USA time, which was like 3 or 4 o'clock here in UK. I mean, in Spain, UK, whatever. Yeah. They put 2,500 copies of the limited edition first book of the new series of Horus Heresy, The Assault of Terra, and they were all of them. They were signed by the writer. They collapsed the Black Library website. It took 10 minutes. It took 10 minutes to buy them. The book, I think it costs around $65 to $70, limited edition. 3 minutes later, it was for $350 in eBay.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And you said it took 10 minutes to sell out?
When it crashed the website, it screwed up their store to a point that they've already put up a post. I want to say it was on the Black Library website or the GW website or whatever, that future releases of the limited edition books for the Siege of Terror will only be sold on GW's main website because they said everything was sold out in like 3 to 5 minutes. Wow. And they ended up going back in and finding out they had like 300 something copies left that they're still going to sell, but they're going to do it later.
Yeah.
Right. So they're going to stagger it.
And they're going to limit everybody to 1 copy
per shop.
Razzy's off to work.
Like if
Thanks
you
for
buy it
joining
on
us, Raz. Have a great night.
you can order one. That's it.
Yeah, they finally do that. But they are people is doing this since GW started. But it has to happen in USA for the people to complain a lot, and just the things change finally. And I'm so glad that this happened. It's the same. It's the same with the. It's the same with the fucking codex from Space Wolves. Here in Spain, you buy them cheap, but you buy them wrong translate with a lot of erratas and a lot of shit and misunderstanding words and things like that.
Hermano, por favor, oye, si puedes, cuidado con el lenguaje porque ellos tienen niños ahí.
Uy, sorry. It has to happen. Okay. It has to happen that they forgot before they put the things to print. They forgot to put the new warlord traits. The
warlord traits, right?
It has to happen on the English version. Then for them to react, saying like, okay, we are going to double check from now on. We are going to double check the books before sending to print.
Wow.
And before that, I got like 2 or 3 books in Spanish that they got pages of erratas. Actually, the funny thing was like the chapter approved 2018, the page that explained the reserves and the deep strikes is still the old version. We still got the 2017.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know which is more annoying, buying a book that doesn't have the erratas or the FAQs in it, or like I bought from Forge World, I think it's either Horus Heresy book 3 or Horus Heresy book 4, and it's missing 2 pages. Like the page numbers go from like it's like page 22 to you look at the next page and it's listed as like page 25. You're like, where's this page?
Well, if you buy the Italian or the Spanish version for the codex or the campaigns, it costs usually it's the price is around like €8 less, which is, I don't know, 20, no, not even 20% discount, and you are missing 80 pages of lore.
Oh, so they're just cutting it back. They're not even. Oh,
no,
wow.
no. Yeah. They send you. They sell before they will sell in the book. If you got the codex on hardback, hardback, you got it on soft. Yeah, hardcover. You got it on soft cover. But you were missing like 40 to 50 pages of lore. You got the rules, but you were missing. I mean, just remove the pictures. Just leave me the lore. And the point cost and the data sheets. That's it. Easy. It was like this. I mean, no, it's still like this. Actually,
yeah.
Still like this. I got here the codex, the chaos one for and the Vigilus Ablaze, and I'm missing the chaos codex 2.0. I think it's like 170 pages, and the Spanish version is 100 pages.
Oh, wow. Y'all are missing a lot of content.
Yeah,
I'm missing all the lore from the old codex and from the new one, which is a resume from Vigilus Ablaze.
Yeah, that is horse crap. I tell you what, I think it's funny the disparaging. It's just weird. Who's governing who gets what, and
it's the government law.
Yeah.
If you in Germany and France, it's by law that if you wanna join one of the books, you should provide a 100% translation of the book by law. If not, you cannot sell on the country. In Spain and Italy, it's volunteer. So we are more touristics. We want the money from the from outside.
Right.
So we are adapting to these people, and the problem is in Spain we are. I mean, the really competitive ones. So the ones that are gonna buy everything, we usually buy on English straight away, just to avoid the main problems with erratas and things like that. Because You go to all the international tournaments. You go to Gibraltar. You go to UK to play on Warhammer World and the Heats tournaments. You go to ITC, and you play on English all the time.
Right.
So
that's interesting. So I never would have thought that just having a different language edition means you may not even have all the same rules that the rest of us have.
It was funny. It was funny in a tournament.
Translations.
It happened once. It happened once that there was a wrong translation in one of the books in German. With I think it was with the Space Marines or with Eldars or something like that. And one guy, he went to a tournament and he went to an official tournament before they put the rule like if there is any kind of mistake, the English version should be the correct one, no? So he went to the tournament with the codex in German, and in the German it say errata that it make the elders even awesome, and he went with that, and yeah, it was like listen, it's the same like now, it's the same right now. Chaos Codex, I mean Vigilus Ablaze, it say the new obliterators cost 115 points each. All right, so it's 80% more than before. On the new Codex 2.0, the price is still from the previous Codex because we all know it should be errata. Because it costs 65 points and it's the same. It's the same new ones. Now what we do? We know it's errata, but until Games Workshop put a new FIQ or errata, what can we do?
Right.
Wow. That's terrible.
So if you pay 25 euros for a codex, which is the same like before, but with the new datasets from the new units that you have them as well on the Vigilus Ablaze, for 2 to 4 weeks, you are going to have the cheapest new awesome obliterators from the game.
What's messed up about that is they say they even advertised with the new Chaos Codex that it's got all the FAQs and errata and stuff like that in it. And it sounds like they're not there.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Man, I'm glad I didn't buy the Chaos Codex today.
No. Don't buy the new Chaos Codex. You don't need it. What you need to buy or get the info from is the Vigilus Ablaze. Because you got the formations, the new formations for the Chaos. You got the new datasets from all the things. The only thing that it say on the Chaos Codex that it doesn't say on the rest is that the cultists are now from 10 to 30, not to 40. They reduced 10, the maximum of the unit, but it say as well that they got the I will say the mere mortals. The rule that they say that they are not using anymore the Legion tactics.
Yep. The Legion traits no longer apply to cultists.
Which the only ones that are really could cry for that is the Iron Warriors and the Alpha Legion, because they are the ones that get the most. But in other hand, you got the new priest, the Dark Apostle, and the new the sorcerer, the new Demon King sorcerer is not helping the cultist. But
the Master of Possession.
The Master of Possession is not helping the cultists, but it's helping the rest of the things. But the Dark Apostle, Jesus Christ, it's awesome. I mean, for 30 cultists, you can make a lot of things with them. That's why they reduced the number to 30 from 40, because even raising up 1 point and making them 5 points each, it's impossible. All the combinations you can do with things that the opponent cannot dispel, because it's not a spell. It's a prey.
They did that because they didn't want to get sued for salt poisoning.
Yeah, that's the
Methos,
thing.
something that I have to throw this in because I thought it was really interesting. I actually caught one of your streams. You were talking to that fella in Cuba, trying to get a good Warhammer community started there, and I thought that was really interesting how hard it is for him to get any material and
Yeah, you're talking about Arnold.
yeah, that was a good stream, man. And I caught him. I think I caught it twice when you guys were there. So, and I mean, he's kind of like the pioneer right now
Yeah,
of
yeah.
getting that movement going in Cuba because I mean, you hardly there are no stores there. There's just nothing there. I mean, what he gets is what people send him.
Yeah,
You know?
and actually, we are. I'm gonna. Well, the plan is my Death Star army is right now in Canarias, ready to take a flight to Cuba because I'm gonna
Oh,
I'm
that's
gonna
cool.
borrow my army. But there is a small, slight problem. Yesterday he went to the hospital, and
Oh no.
yeah, we don't know exactly how uh, how bad is the situation, but he sent us an email telling us that he was really having a really healthy problems, and he doesn't know if he's gonna get it. So right now we are a little bit like finger crossed, and hopefully. I mean, they got a really nice doctors there,
Yeah.
but I don't know if they got the medicines that they need for whatever it's going on him.
Did he say it was serious? I mean, was it life
Yeah, it's
threatening?
something about aneurysma.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah, that's why. That's why I didn't wanted to say anything. I was
no.
talking about
See,
this on
see,
my
see.
stream today. I didn't wanted to say anything about that, but yeah.
Yeah,
So we don't know exactly where is it and how is it, but I'm crossing my
yeah,
fingers. I'm praying to the dark gods
yeah.
for.
Mythos. This guy is just a really just good old salt. I mean, he's just a good kid. He wants to get the community blooming there. He just wants to be able to really get it impacted, so he can get a bunch of people really fired up about the hobby and he is this guy is absolute on fire about Warhammer, man. And I thought you had it bad. Oh my gosh, this guy eats, breathes, lives Warhammer, and I love his enthusiasm. I mean, it was just amazing. And he definitely is, like I said, he's a pioneer. He would be considered more like the missionary of Warhammer. you know
Have you
Yeah,
heard about our
Missionary
Lord and
nothing.
Savior?
He's a dark apostle if he's gonna play Death Guard.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I definitely prayers will be with him, because he's a good guy, and
And extra kudos to you, Max, for I mean, getting somebody pumped about the hobby in another country, and helping him start up a hobby community of his own. That's awesome.
oh yeah,
Hopefully
yeah.
everything works out for him.
I mean, it was amazing because the thing is, one of the people who is collaborating with me on the streams, which is a subscriber, but he's literally in 95% of our Hangouts chat. We are 10 crazy guys talking, like for 3 or 4 hours almost every night. I mean, every night here in Spain, of course. So I mean, it's funny because the one of these guys, he's Cuban and he was living in Cuba for 15 years and now he's in Spain. Yes, so he knew the situation there, how was the things, what you can get and what you cannot get, and of course when he discovered that somebody was publishing on YouTube on a YouTube channel telling I'm a Cuban, I'm a YouTuber. I mean, I'm a Warhammer fan producing videos in Cuba. It was like, how come? I mean, you are not eating for sharing internet and sending everything. And I was like, okay, we need to check this guy. We need to try to help him. And yeah, I mean, uh, the community started moving. You know, they started to check out if he could make a Patreon for us to provide. I mean, because 20 bucks for him means the full salary, you know. So for us, 20 bucks is nothing, and with 20 bucks he can pay the whole internet he needs to upload all videos during a month. He can even do streams and everything. So it was for us it was worth it because it was nothing, and collecting miniatures that we were not gonna use anyway, plus the conquest. I got like people sending me number ones. Like I stay here like with 25 number ones. Oh no, not 25. No, sorry. It was like 10 number ones, which is 3 miniatures per number. So 30 marines, 30 primaris. I started converting them and paint them and sending to him straight away. Because I mean, it was not for us. It was not a really huge investment of money.
Right.
I'm playing Chaos Marines. I'm not playing Chaos Marines. I'm playing Cultists.
Right.
So I got tons of Marines or things like that, you know.
And besides, he does look like the God Emperor. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, definitely.
If you look at him, Methos, he looks just like the pictures of the Emperor.
Yeah. Really, I mean, it's amazing.
With the long wavy hair, he's got the the very interesting complexion, the whole thing.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Oh, thank you, babe.
Awesome.
You are amazing.
I know.
I totally forgot about my tea.
Yes, you did.
You forgot all your tea, yeah. Okay, so guys, I have an important question for you.
Go ahead.
Who I have to kill for that Mac? Huh? I want that Mac.
For what? This one?
The Frost and Freak. Huh? Yeah. What I have to pay for that? Huh?
This is my Dark Magician girl.
No, for that one, no. For the Frost and Freak one.
Oh yeah, Frost and Freak. We can definitely get you one of those.
I
don't know if I was separate from my Dark Magician girl.
No. Just you remind me about a black Mac, and I was like, Frost and Fist, yeah.
We'll have to remedy that. Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
So,
we'll make that happen.
How come? That's the important question I wanted to ask you. How come that suddenly you changed from Imperial Fist to I'm gonna play some Space Wolves or Mythos? I'm gonna play some Adeptus Mechanicus. Excuse me, you are Frost and Fist? What the hell?
So for me, I had a buddy getting out of the hobby, and he tried for a little while to sell them off, and then he ended up watching some of our channel, and he's like, "You guys are really doing this thing, and you're such a great commission painter. I would love if you would just be able to see your paint job." Because he was playing with the whole army gray. He said, just to see your paint job on this army, I'd like to offer you this army free. And I'm like, okay, yeah, definitely. I'm like, at first, I wasn't even excited about the AdMech. I was like, but I'm like, hey, it's a free army if I paint it. But the more I painted them, I started loving them. And the scheme, I think, was a big part of it. But then learning the play style, like I'm sitting there painting the miniatures while listening battle reports and listening to, strategy and tactic talks. And I guess I started loving them while working on them, honestly. Like getting into the art got me into the models.
Yeah, well, my smart unicorn will say, like, what's the tactic for the Adeptus Mechanicus? Sit and shoot.
Such a wise unicorn.
Yeah, definitely. Just careful. It's watching my miniatures, because last time I got people here, somebody opened all my Funkos.
Just a minute.
It's a free Funkos.
No. For me,
yes,
I have been an absolute fan since I actually started going to the store with Methos. So here's the thing, right? So Methos has always been a hardcore Space Wolf fan, right? And he was just so proud of these things, you know. And of course, when he would play them, I thought they was just so cool. All of their abilities, the ability to be able to, and because they're really more into melee at the time, like 7th edition when I started, I got excited. You know, I was like, wow, these guys are running up right up to me and punching me in the face. You know, like, whoa, these guys are crazy. And I love the fact that, you know, they're just aggressive enough, they're crazy enough, but they get the job done. And then later on down the line, I actually started reading the Horus Heresy novels, and also, you know, looking up a lot of YouTube and looking about, you know, the Space Wolves lore and the fluff. And I'll be honest with you, man, they were the underdog that always seemed to come out somehow on top. They were just the guy that you want to root for, you know, because when they seemed to have absolutely no chance, they always pulled it through. And that's what I loved about them. They were survivors. I don't know. They just kind of struck me as that. And I'm like, you know what? I like that. I like that premise. I love the theory. I love the fluff. You know, I love the fact that, you know, he was the only one that was ready to go toe to toe with the Emperor. Well, besides Horus, right? So I thought that was the coolest thing. And he's going to knuckle up just, okay, you know what? Screw you and everything about you. Let's fight right here now. Right. And of course, he got his butt whooped by the Emperor during that time. But still, I thought it was like pretty bold. He was like, I'm not afraid of you. You know, so he was ready to go to his death. You know, but again, I thought that was really cool of Rust. You know, just, hey, I'll drink you, I'll eat you. You know, I'll do this, and I just thought that was a really, really cool. I hadn't really seen anything like that from any of the other, you know, any of the other Primarchs, and I don't know, that stuck out to me. So that's kind of why I came out of the closet as a closet Space Wolf. You know, fan. So there you go. That's my story.
You know,
I'm still Imperial Fist, as a matter of fact.
You know what the monkey will say, no? The monkey will say, like, did you read White Dwarf #1 from January 2019? You know what's the Crimson Fist doing?
Yeah.
Now that the Crimson Fist are coming, you are leaving to pets?
I thought about going to Crimson. I really did. I even told Methos that I either that or Black Templars.
No, Fist.
Yeah, it was definitely like a left field turn because he had been talking about the other fist, you know, the Crimson Fist, Black Templars.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to go another Son of Dorn, and then just out of left field, he's like, I've got to talk to you. I've been listening to some lore on Space Wolves. I think they're going to be next.
Just do yourself a favor one of these days. Just take your Imperial Fist, use the Crimson Fist tactics, and then you tell me.
I've been seeing that because apparently there's those tactics. As a matter of fact, I actually seen some bat reps where some Imperial Fists were actually using Crimson Fist tactics, and they seem to be really good. So I may actually start incorporating them. I just haven't been playing enough games to be able to get them in there. So I definitely want to do that.
I mean,
that's definitely a good idea. You know,
I mean, that information in a White Dwarf is a kick in the ass, to be honest. A kick in the butt.
Yeah.
Because that information should be on the codex or should be on download PDF.
Yeah.
Because if you are not used to read White Dwarfs, you are missing the whole information. It's not like when the bolter appears that they put it on the Warhammer community. So you got the information from the bolter, the new beta rules.
Right.
The Crimson Fist is like, sorry, they do what? But these guys is supposed that they kill orcs and that's it, and they were just almost disappearing. No. Here you go, Gilliman. Here you go, Primaris. Here you go. Go with the bolter tactics, and go with. Here you go again. Shoot. Kill them all.
Yeah, yes. I'm definitely gonna have to look into that because, like I said, they definitely have some good tactics. Now, I have been using a lot of the, you know, like you said, the bolter discipline. Great, you add that to the bolter drill. Oh man, here's the thing. I had for some time. I had been running my Imperial Fist without using any of the what is it? Yeah. So I was missing a lot, right? And of course, I was getting my lunch eating whatever. And finally, I started doing it. I started using it, using my stratagems, using the abilities that come with the Imperial Fist, and using the beta. I tell you what, man. I've seen them do stuff that I never thought I'd ever see them do. And that I tell you what. That bolter discipline beta rule, that sucker is mean. You add to that the additional bolter drill stratagem, roll sixes, man. Holy crap! And then you keep them with you get them with Dorn or with Lysander. Reroll ones. Again, it's just like non-stop. So it definitely makes up for his strength 4. They're not really the most powerful weapon, but in numbers, they definitely are formidable.
Yeah, especially on the new 8th edition, that nothing is alive. 6 is always good.
Yeah,
it's not like before. Like no. Strength 4, tone is 9. You cannot do anything to me. No, 6s. They will roll. Go ahead. And the new assassins. Don't forget the new assassins. You are Imperium.
Yeah. New assassins look great.
Yeah,
I definitely want to get some more.
Yeah.
Jesus, I just. You know the funny thing. The funny thing is, I'm subscribed to the annual White Dwarf. The number for March. Yeah, I received it yesterday.
Oh. Wow.
Okay. The number for March.
Man, that one looks good.
Just 3 days before. April. The end of the month. And I review this magazine on my channel. The funny thing of reviewing this from the month 3 days before the month finish. How pleased I am. Every week, every month, just getting this magazine late, for sure, but not so late like this time. Ah, Jesus! Oh, yeah. That's the story.
Sorry. Just to catch up on the chat, Nerdopolis Prime says Malaga is right regarding the German law on book translations. Brother Ethan says variety is the spice of life, asking about our changes in armies. And then Nerdopolis Prime says, bloody hell, that is an awesome unicorn.
Yes, it is.
Look at that.
It really is.
I think Max did that. He just jumped on the show just to get his unicorn famous here at the Frost and Quiz.
My son has the rabbit.
There you go.
That's awesome.
He doesn't allow me to take it out from the house. So I have to buy pets here, Come on, it's amazing. It's less than $20.
Yeah, those are pretty awesome. They sell them at our GameStop here. It's pretty cool. I really like those things. So since we were talking about Chaos a little earlier, I'd like to talk about the new Slanesh demons and stuff coming out for Age of Sigmar. They look pretty cool. And I'm not going to really talk about Age of Sigmar too much just because we don't play the game, so we don't really have a good knowledge base for it. But what I do want to talk about is, how they look. And with that, though, they're making such a big focus on it. It really seems like, with Marathi coming out last year and this year, they're redoing Slanesh demons for Age of Sigmar. It may be time for them to reach an Emperor's Children kind of release. And we might see a Fulgrim. What do you guys think?
No.
Really so?
If you see a new Primark, at least it's gonna be at the end of the summer. What?
Oh yeah, I'm not saying anytime soon.
No. Of course, I mean Fulgrim and Angron are gonna come, and probably Perturabo as well. But Emperor Children's, I'm afraid we are not gonna see them. I mean, for sure they need to take the War Eater Codex and the Emperor Children Codex with their own special units. Blah blah blah. It's the same that they did with the Thousand Sons and the Death Guard. They're gonna do it for sure. But with the renew from the Codex, when they didn't put new units, new berserkers or new Emperor Children's, I mean Noise Marines, I think they're gonna delay the things because now they say they're gonna touch the Eldars. I mean, in April you go Inari, so we'll see how is it going, but yeah, they will not appear primers for a while.
That's
we probably because the thing is, I think they're gonna make some kind of. I mean, they are not gonna make a campaign with demons and elders because they just put all the new demons. They are gonna make them appear with the new elders for sure. At the time that the elders appear, they will put the demons for 40k with the new demon codex because they will go already all the new miniatures from the demon codex, so they can do the demon codex 2.0 with the elders, and they can make like 4 releases: Inari from the White Dwarf, plus the 2 plus Harlequins, Dark Eldars, and demons. With that, they can cover 4 months already. So maybe around September, we can see new things for Chaos, and maybe a new campaign. The things, I mean, the rumors say it might be Armageddon or it might be Baal with the Blood Angels, the new Dante, Primaris Dante, maybe the rest of the troops. Maybe even they make the new units, for example, it can be Death Company Primaris or another units, because they say that they are going to Primaris more and more specific units from different armies. Before that, maybe we get the Space Marines Codex 2.0.
You think
So I think
they'll update that?
Huh?
Do you think they're going to update the Space Marine Codex here anytime soon after all that, do you think?
So they have been talking about a Space Marine 2.0.
Yeah,
so the fact that Chaos has already gotten a 2.0, I think, kind of lends itself to that direction.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't talked about that yet, but the thing is, you got the new cards for the Vanguard detachment, these Phobos armors and things like that, Right. So they're probably gonna add it on the new campaign or wherever they make, and they make a new codex 2.0.
I see what you're saying.
Just put in Vigilus, but the thing is, they will be missing. I mean, I think they will wait for a new campaign of whatever name it calls, and they put a lot of new formations for the rest of the chapters, because the formations from the chapters from the Vigilus 1, they were not really. I mean, for Space Marines, they were not the end of the world. Maybe the Beatrix formation, or just more narrative than on the competitive way,
Right.
But for other hands, for the Chaos, on Vigilus Ablaze, there is a lot of information, a lot of formations, and the Renegades, everything, all the Renegade stuff, it's not coming on the Codex. So if you want to play with the Red Corsairs, the Crimson Slaughters, the Purg, you need the Vigilus Ablaze. for the warlord traits, the doctrines and the relics and the tactics.
So I want to take a quick opportunity to go back like 15 steps and disagree with you on a point. So it may not be anytime soon, but I really feel like the demons and, of course, you know, the obliterators, really, the new obliterator rules really lend themselves to Slaanesh. And, of course, I do think their design of Marathi was a test in the water for Fulgrim. I think we will see sometime soon, not soon, but sometime coming up, Demon Fulgrim. I think that is definitely a plan in the works that they're just not talking about. With that, though, I want to take a salt moment, and I'm going to go ahead and say real quick, this is not official. This is somebody who heard somebody else say that they heard at Adepticon. So I'm not saying that this is news. This is not news. Okay, wow. So this is somebody heard somebody say that there are 0 plans for loyal Primarchs in the future. 0 plans for loyal Primarchs in the future. And with a possible Fulgrim coming up, and the fact that they already got no, that's the source. No new loyal Primarchs coming up. So the fact that they already got what 2.5 on the Chaos side.
2.5. You call Abaddon a Primarch? No.
I said a half. 2.5.
They got Primarch wannabe, so
they got Mortarion. They've got Magnus, right? And you know what? They say that Chaos is in a crappy place, but you know what? They can field both of those guys. And have you ever watched a battle report with somebody fielding both Mortarion and Magnus? They tear some shit up. I would like to be able to equivalently wield that kind of power, you know? I think it's really screwed up that they can, that they're going to sit here and leave it 2-1 for however long.
So what do you want? You want Rush? Do you want the Lion? You want Doran?
Sure, I am biased, and I would love Russ, but I can even set aside my bias to say any of the loyal ones. You know, bring back the Khan, bring back Vulcan. You know, bring, I guess, the Lion. I'm okay with any of them. Just give us
going to be a Chaos Primarch.
If the Lion appears, the Inquisition will kill it.
I was being salty. I said if the Lion comes back, he'll be a Chaos Primarch.
Yeah, of course.
Or it might be a double agent Primarch like his boy Cypher.
Shit.
Well, actually,
I really hope that's just a rumor.
Yeah.
I really hope that's just a rumor and not a factual, because that doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. I mean, man, I don't know. You talking about?
I still say of all the Primarchs out there, the one most suited to come back without any hard explanation would be Vulcan.
You know, I want to agree with that, but also at the same time, I want us to be like Logan saw Russ. Okay, he showed up at the end of Wrath of Magnus. You know, he appeared and then he walked off into the mist.
Yeah, it could be.
So I mean, it could happen. But you know, like I said, it doesn't even have to be mine. I'm willing to take my bias out of the situation. Catch up on the chat real quick. Who took my dice? Our brother showed up, said they will also be for 40K. The demons says no Primarchs for a while, apparently. Here comes the salt. Our brother Ethan says, I could see all of the Chaos Primarchs before the Loyalists. Now you're just trying to provoke me. And then Steve also says, the Khan. If you were to see a Loyalist Primarch, Thomas, who would you bring back?
Duh, that's a given.
Yeah. Roos. Good man. Max, who would you bring back for a loyal side?
For a loyal side, ooh. let's see. Lion, no, because it's chaotic. So, loyal. Let's see.
It's a hard one for you, isn't it?
I will bring Sanguinius back. I know he's chaotic as well, and death. Okay. I will bring definitely. I will bring. How is the name? How is the name of this one that they got? He got the head cut. The Iron Warrior.
Ferrus
I don't.
Manus?
Yeah, Ferrus Manus. Yeah, but he's in an Imperator Titan.
Is he?
No, but could be.
That would be cool. I mean, that I could see with Ferrus Manus.
Well, I have three theories about that. Okay, the first theory is that yes, Fulgrim cut his head, but the Mechanicum saved him, and as he was special, okay, they connect him to some kind of machine. All right. From this point, I got the two theories. Theory number one: Belisarius Cole find him, and he is installed on the computer machine that has Gilliman on the chamber, that has artificial intelligence or something like the mind of Belisarius Cole. Could be that. Second one, the Mechanicum, because the Iron Hands has a special deal with the Mechanicum as secret pacts, secret. We don't know what. We don't know why. Maybe now we know that they are thankful for saving the life on some kind of the Primarch. And yes, why not? Instead of a Dreadnought, why don't put him on an Imperator Warlord? Imperator Titan, and go ahead and blast out the war. Why not?
That'd be cool.
No, but yeah, that'd be cool. That would be awesome. Actually, they would put him on maybe a Revenant Dreadnought or maybe in a tank, something like that. But anyway, as idea, it's really nice. No, but the thing is, the for lore and for the way that the game should continue, because if you have two Demon Primarchs plus Abaddon kicking the ass and destroying the humanity, you need some backup. So I will probably say Dorn, that the first thing that he's gonna do is kick in the butt Gilliman for being or doing whatever he was doing.
I agree.
And reorganizing the defense like should be, Or the other one should be the Khan. But the problem is that the warlord traits and all the doctrines for the Legion are not really helping much, to be honest. That's the thing. Guys, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to start thinking about leaving because it's 4 o'clock. It's 4:30 in the morning here in Spain.
Oh my goodness!
And I should be
for the week.
Yeah. I should be in half an hour on my ex house to take care of my son.
Oh wow!
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to quit, unfortunately. But it was a pleasure to finally talk with you real and not through videos and things like that.
Well, thank you for joining us, Max.
I'm practicing a little bit of my English, but I'm a little bit rusty.
You did awesomely tonight.
Como siempre, un placer, hermano. Un gusto para tenerte aquí.
Lo mismo digo, freak. Freak.
¿Cómo se dice eso, hombre? El freak.
Depende. ¿Freak de freaky o freak de crazy?
Mejor el de crazy porque el otro mira.
Loco.
Mucho loco.
El gran loco.
Gran loco.
Yeah, I'm not the only one who is just being crazy. Austria, Switzerland, 4:30 in the morning. Another crazy guy like me. You see? Don't forget, if you are seeing this video on later on, because of course, we are 4 to 7. Subscribe.
So
sure.
before you leave, go ahead and plug your channel. Let everybody know how to get to you, and you know.
Wow, you say very good. Just go to Malaga, no?
Guys, please go out and reach out. This is Malaga War Games. It's a great channel. A lot of it is in Spanish because he is, of course, Spanish. The real true definition.
What can I do, man? There is 2,000
So,
English
but go check out
channels talking about 40K or Warhammer or Games Workshop. Unfortunately, when I joined with you guys, that we got like 200 subscribers each of us. I was doing in Spanish. I was doing on English and in Spanish. But the problem is there was nobody else doing on Spanish. So at the end, I had to find my niche on looking for my path.
And you crushed it, man.
Yeah.
You absolutely crushed it. You know, so congratulations, by the way, man. You're doing really well.
And the most.
Hey, man. Corn doesn't care where the skulls come from, and apparently, everybody's looking for something out there. So if you can provide what they don't have, it's all the more power to you, brother.
Yeah, definitely. You're doing a great job, my man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm appreciated. But I'm so pleased that you reached already past the 500 subscribers, and you are getting the 600 soon, and the 7, and the 8, and the 9, and the 1,000. And from that's the new story.
Yeah, we'll get there. We're enjoying. Here's the thing: as a Harley Davidson rider, they tell you, it's not about the destination, but it's all about the ride. So
that's the thing. My main course here is just we are building a really awesome community of war games. It's not only Games Workshop. It's not only Warhammer. It's many things. We are connecting. We are connecting from bloggers to YouTubers to podcasting on almost every day. At every time you got somebody from our community making streams or making videos. So there is many people that is enjoying on the night with us because the wife is watching some kind of TV show, whatever, and they are just with us painting and sharing stuff. And it's amazing this adventure that I'm just experienced, and I'm so glad. I'm a little bit, sometimes I'm a little bit sad that I'm gonna do the same material or the same things I'm doing on English just because I don't get that. I don't get those focus anymore. I'm so glad sometimes.
The market is saturated. Yeah, I mean, you can say the market is saturated in the English speaking community, but one thing that I really love about your channel is that I get to see what's going on outside of, this outside of, and even outside of the UK, because that's where, coincidentally, that's the majority of our viewers, which is kind of weird. But the neat thing for me is to be able to watch your show and, see, like, for example, the fella from Cuba, again, I would have never would have known that was happening in Cuba, and seeing his struggles and plights to be able to try to get an actual gaming community started there had I not seen it on your show. Yep. So again, you got a great niche and it's working for you. And I think you're reaching, given the platform to be able to help him express, what he's going through, I think it's going to really continue going. Now, again, I hope he gets better. I wish him well. We all do. We wish him that he gets speedy recovery and hopefully things go well for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I want to visit him next year, so he better be nice. Otherwise, I'm just gonna get the falcata and.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I got to go.
The only problem with your analogy, freak.
What's that?
If it's all about the ride with the Harley Davidson, I gotta really go buy that bike out of the showroom already.
Well, mates, amazing time spending with you. Awesome to talk. Awesome to see that things are going well. I mean, I'm really happy to see you again with this frequency, with this routine of seeing you almost every week uploading some stuff. which I was a little bit worried about both of you because of job and because family
Yeah.
things and and healthy stuff. So I'm pleased because this is main of the ways to know that. I mean, I got many friends from my childhood that they know that I'm alive because they see me every bloody day on the channel.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's such a great networking tool.
That's the
it
thing.
really is.
That's the thing. Or they talk with me on the chat.
It's amazing how just this tool here just completely has made this entire planet very small. We've got friends, we feel like they're close friends all over the world, and it's just really unique and different. And we can actually say, well, if we were to visit that country, well, we know where we can go to hang out and have a good time. So it just works. So
definitely. This is one of the phrases from a Spanish channel, which is called Scratch Attack, that they are teaching how to make things with just a scratch. And they from many years ago, because they got already like 10 years on the platform. They got they are on their own style, but they always start and say goodbye, yelling "Jab," which is "YouTube está vivo," YouTube is alive. And really now I can say definitely on this time on the Spanish community, when people is leaving the forums and the blogs and is more looking for information in Google and then suddenly appear on YouTube is alive for us, for the community. And thanks to Workshop for changing the ways to treat the customers, starting Warhammer community and all the stuff. This is going up and up all the time. Yeah, sometimes they are messing around, but this Workshop, they cannot do all the things perfect, but things are getting good and better.
I agree.
And definitely.
Well, they shouldn't have threw the box away to the puzzle when they started all of this, or we would have been here a lot sooner. But I'm just glad that they figured out what the picture was.
Yep. Definitely. All right, boys. So have a good afternoon on my scenario. Have a good night and see you around.
All right, my friend.
Take care, Max.
Keep frosty.
Take care, buddy.
It's awesome.
Say happy wargaming.
Thank you.
Roxy said 40K in every country around the world. Spread it around. That's awesome.
Kind of like gonorrhea.
No.
Again, not like gonorrhea.
Oh.
Not the clap.
Like winning lotto tickets. How about that?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Spread around some winning lotto tickets.
I mean, because you might need to spread around winning some lotto tickets if we're going to spread around Warhammer. Freak. I know we got sidetracked. Same question, my man. Which Primarch would you bring back? Would it be the Imperial Fist himself?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have been hoping and praying that eventually they would say. And I like Max's thoughts on that Dorn will just come back like, what the hell? What have y'all done in my living room? What have y'all done in my house? And then he just goes ape, cleans house, fights Gilliman, beats his ass, and then goes and cleans things up.
I wonder if he would feel, detached from his sons, knowing that they have died and been replaced so many times. It's like, these aren't even my kids.
You don't even look like it. What? No, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think I'm telling you, the opportunity is ripe for amazing fluff if he were to, or when he were to return. So if he were to return right now, I'm telling you, the field would be just completely open for amazing fluff, and that's why, and it would work so well. It really would.
Here's an I guess you'd call it an Easter egg on fluff. Okay, in all of the official fluff, they only found the hand of Dorn, which gives you the opportunity to return.
It was just the glove, not even the hand. It was
no. It was actually his hand too, because hand has been inscribed with all the chapter masters since then and it's stuck in like this amber or something other
Stasis, yeah.
stasis. But I've read 2 pieces of fan fiction. One I actually liked, one I didn't care for. The one said that they ended up finding like the rest of his skeleton, blah blah blah, and that one I want to file in the circular filing cabinet. The other one was the reason Dorn has not appeared since he lost his hand is somebody had to take over leading the agents of the Emperor on a more personal level, because like the assassin cults, they're all convoluted and screwed up. You've got the Inquisition that can't find their butt in a well-lit room with a flashlight in both hands. But you've got the agents, you've got the Custodes, and you've got the Sisters of Silence. The Sisters of Silence, they're still functioning very rigidly, very strictly, but they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. The Custodes, there's a lot more going on with them than people realize, but it's not the High Lords of Terra telling them what to do. So, who's controlling the Custodes? If you look at the old fluff, Dorn, as the Primarch of the Imperial Fists, had his legion, but at the same time, he was an advisor to Valdor and some of these other big Custodes. Who's to say that Dorn isn't in command of the Custodes? And with everything going on like it is, Dorn's basically said, Bobby G, you screwed the pooch. I can't step out in the limelight, whoop your butt, but I can clean up your mess. And then later we're going to have a talk.
I like that, but I'm still like, okay, well, he still has a part of him that's kind of in a glass case there, you know. I really want, I don't know.
You know, but that doesn't mean so much now with the in their age, because you know it's
artificial,
it's definitely no thing for one of them to get an augmetic. And heck, they've also, the Primarchs also have the Wolverine healing, you know, so who knows, maybe given enough time, they could actually grow back that Primarch hand.
I think that would be cool, but it goes back to, okay, well,
and I mean, their level of their level of technology and stuff in certain status. I mean, they're talking about in several of the old books where they regrew an eye, like so and so lost his battle, but because of what was going on at the time, they replaced it with a cybernetic option because it was quick and fast and dirty.
Right.
Okay. But then the same guy later on, you don't see a cybernetic. He's got an organic one because they got back to wherever they were going and they had the time to regrow that organ.
Oh, yeah, because they've got the organ vats.
So just because they found Dorn's hand in his glove doesn't mean Dorn's walking around with a cybernetic augmentation for a hand.
It just, for me, it just
people don't see him.
Yeah,
because they're expecting that missing hand, and he's sitting there going, "Sucker."
Well, again, it just goes back to, because that, see, it wasn't so much of the hand as much as the glove, because that glove was a major part of him. That glove is what kept him sane. No. It was like, it's that glove is what made who he was. He was, I don't know, man. For him to be,
are you talking about the pain glove?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So
the glove that was on his hand is called a pain glove in retrospect, because actually all the pain glove is a chamber that they discipline themselves in.
Right. Right. And he basically chastised himself, you know. And
yeah, but he basically wore the glove to keep himself in check.
Right.
Doesn't mean that he doesn't still have that discipline now. Maybe he no longer needs it.
that's a good point. I mean, I could entertain that he just somehow feels like he's gone up a level where he no longer needs it. That would be cool. And then he comes out with, but again, it's just there would be a lot that would need to be explained up to that point. So, but to answer the question though, really, I think Dorn would definitely be a good Primarch loyalist to actually come out.
Now, I'm going to catch up on the chat real quick. We catch up on the chat real quick. Roxas says that with you talking about maybe learning Warhammer 40K and bringing it to the community, it's more like hitting the lottery. Roxas says if he did win the lottery and he also took out a bank loan, he might be able to afford a new army.
Yeah, that's so true.
Nerdopolis Prime says he'd like to see the Primarchs of the 2 missing Space Marine Legions, 2nd and 11th, which is a cool theory, but I don't know if they would ever do, because I think that gives you the room to custom create your own legions. Or
on that plot line, being from the Stone Age when it was called Rogue Trader, I can tell you that everybody I knew and everybody that talked about GW and actually worked like out in the UK and stuff like that, they literally said you will never see a 2nd 11 Legion because it just didn't write it. That was their hook, their plot for people to go, I'm making the 2nd Legion or I'm making the 11th Legion. That's why you can go online and you'll find a half a dozen or more 2nd Legions, and none of them are the same. And the same with the 11th Legion. But that was
Am I the Contra? I hope I'm the Contra.
See, that was what was cool. And then later when they broke it into stuff, everybody had that ability to make their own chapter. And to some of us, that is the reason we do it. Because some people don't want to paint Ultramarines. Some people don't want to paint Imperial Fist or Wolves or Night Lords or whatever. The ability to build your own
traditional colors.
I mean, some people like to go, oh, this is canon, so I'm going to do this. But there's some people that like to sit down with a blank notebook and go, I'm going to build this from a cornerstone up. And some of those chapters out there, you're like, GW, you need to come look at this. Make this official.
Now, I'm going to go to your point, Freak, and I want to offer a counter argument. And feel free to bash me in the head for it later. I don't know if Dorn could handle this Imperium. I don't know if he would do well in this Imperium at all. And let me say the reason why is he is so set in his father's mindset of a secular, non-religious Imperium, and that once one of his sons said that, kind of gave some credence to the whole, belief in the emperor and the religious aspect of it. And I mean, he almost killed his son. It was one of his captains. He basically busted him down and said, you know what, you're going to live with your shame forever. You're no longer my son. You're no longer one of my fists. You are a soldier, and you're going to continue to exist with that failure every day. And he's like, well, no. And he's like, I'm not your father. I'll never be a father again. And you know what? I probably never was. I mean, he is really like hell set on the secular Imperium, and the way it's millennia now where it's the God Emperor, and I don't think the universe isn't going to go back to where it was, right? Oh no, Dorn's right. It's there's no God Emperor.
Sure, but I can see that. No, I can see that. I don't first thing I wanted to say originally, but when you started that tirade, is that Dorn does not approve, and he will show up at your house and punch you in the face. But no, I mean, I think you do have a point that of course a lot has changed during Dorn's disappearance, but One thing that I think is pretty cool, and I really think that the first thing he's going to do is try to wake his dad up. I don't know. There's something there that I still see it, and I think maybe that would even be more fluff. Is that the conflict that he would have with his brothers, with his Primarch brothers, especially Gilliman, and the rest of the legions. The differences and the changes, getting acclimated, getting to understand. I can see like a full blown blow up, an absolute. I'm going to go to war with every one of y'all, And,
you know what? I'm going to fight y'all. I'm going to fight Chaos. I'm going to fight the Xenos. I'm fighting everybody.
Everybody, I mean, y'all all on the same boat now.
He's the Oprah of ass whoopings.
Screw exactly. You're getting ass. You're getting ass. All of y'all getting ass.
Here's something to think about.
So, I can.
Okay, the Codex Astartes, the thing that all Space Marine chapters are supposed to be built on and formed around. Gulliman wrote it and implemented it, right? But if the same person was teaching it, or if the same set of people was teaching it to each new chapter, why do some chapters revere the Emperor as a god, but yet others do not?
And I'll be honest with you, I don't know that Dorn is not aware of what's been going on.
Who's to say that Dorn hasn't been trying to steer the chapters more in what he believes would be the Emperor's path, next compared to what Gulliman said was the golden rule?
Right. I don't know.
Because there's a lot of chapters even out there that are Ultramarine Gene Seed or Blood Angels Gene Seed or whatever, right. And you look at them and just the way they act, the tactics and stuff like that, scream Dorn.
Yeah, I know. I really think that there's still a viable opportunity for Dorn to show up. And if GW, in their infinite non-wisdom, decides to, bring them back, they can. I mean, it is very plausible.
So me talking about, how Dorn would not be down with the fanatical devotion to the Emperor. Brother Ethan goes, Black Templars. Because they are some of the most fanatical of all, and they are also
guys.
Yeah, I really think he would dissolve that entire. Oh my God, y'all did what? With who? What? Step in my office.
Who said a prayer? Who said an MF in prayer?
Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, the Black Templars, that's all they are about, yeah. I mean, I can see that point. That's a very good point. Dang it, Ethan. Shut up.
Since we're talking about loyalist Primarchs, I was reading something a couple of weeks ago, and somebody made a point that I hadn't thought about, that everybody's like, you can't bring Sanguinius back, he's dead, or killed him. Okay? He brought up 2 points that I hadn't thought about. The Blood Angels basically have Sanguinius's body entombed in this sarcophagus, and that's how they make each new Blood Angel, is using his blood through the ritual rites. Okay? Dead bodies don't produce blood. Okay? Amazing. Second thing is Mephiston, the chief librarian, is the only Blood Angel to ever beat the Red Thirst. He never had the Black Rage. He actually fell to it, but he actually beat both the Bloodthirst and the Black Rage. And that's why his psychics went through the roof, and everybody's like, Holmes went from subpar librarian to Don't even go in that room. You get mine for up front. He's supposed to have seen a vision from Sanguinius after he died.
Interesting.
Okay. What did he see? They've never said what it was. What if Mephiston knows that Sanguinius will be back?
This is good.
You know, I've had a little fan, I guess, scene that I've thought of that I would love to see with that, and that's you know, if he did come back, you know, maybe he comes back, and of course, Blood Angels players are going to hate me for this, but what if he comes back and the experience of living through life and death and coming back screws with his mind and thus comes back as chaos?
Why, dude? Why?
Because I think it'd be cool. A little Jason Todd to his life.
Yeah.
Well,
Dorn will definitely come to your doorstep and punch you in the nads.
In the same premises, Methos, maybe the reason Dorn hasn't stepped into the life is like Freak was saying. His first goal would be wake up the Emperor. But what if over this last 10,000 years, he's been listening to both sides of the story, and he's like, some people believe that if they unplug the Emperor, he will ascend and become basically like a chaos god, but for order.
Right.
Okay. At the same time, he might get unplugged and nothing happen.
Yeah, flat
Or
line.
he might get unplugged and him become himself again.
Yeah, he is a perpetual.
What if Dorn is afraid to know which one of those roads is going to take place, and that's why he hasn't done it? Because if the Emperor ascended and he became a god, then Dorn's like, everything you taught me is a lie.
Yeah. And fighting Horus was a complete waste of my time. Yeah,
everything he'd been doing for the last 10,000 years from the shadows. If he was leading the custodians and doing this and doing that, he'd be like, everything I've done for you for 10,000 years was horse caca.
Yeah. I mean,
So put it.
Chaos would definitely be him for that. If that's the case, you know what I mean?
Nerdopolis Prime agrees.
The flop would be awesome.
Nerdopolis Prime agrees. Being dead in 40K is not such a problem.
Yeah.
Especially for Vulcan. But then again, other than the demon Primarchs, who was the last living Primarch to be seen before Bobby G woke up? Do you all know?
Well, I do like to continuously bring up that Roos scene at the end of Wrath of Magnus.
Well, before Roos did his old shadow walk, the Beast Arises series, when the orcs almost took Terra, there was a Primarch involved in that. And that happened after the Horus Heresy and after all the Primarchs disappeared shit.
And also, I think someone mentioned that in the Fall of Cadia, that the collector guy had Vulcan as part of his collection.
Well, Vulcan is undying.
Huh?
Vulcan is undying. You can kill him, make his heart stop, the whole 9 yards, and he comes back. He cracked for a while because Curse really screwed him up.
So I think all this is some pretty good Primarch talk. Nerdopolis Prime says, I don't know if you know the old book that describes a scene in which the High Council of Terra decides to plug the Emperor in because his wounds were closing and they didn't want him back. Interesting.
I remember that book. I can't tell you what it's called right now off the top of my head, but I remember that book.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
That's a good bit of history, Nerdopolis. All right. I'm really enjoying this talk about the Emperor and the Primarchs. And I would love, like I said, I'd love to see any of them back, whether it's mine, whether it's somebody else, as long as they throw a loyalist, throw us a bone or something. Jesus.
Right.
Even up the sides before they screw us with 2 more.
Right. Even I'm they could even throw the freaking lion at us. I am not the biggest Dark Angels fan. Yeah. That's a good point. If they threw the lion back, I do mean a loyal.
A loyal version of him.
That would be a kick in the nads. Hey guys, you said you wanted. You said you'd even take the lion back. Surprise!
Wish granted. No.
What's jacked up about what Max said earlier about only the Terran Dark Angels wore black, red, and white armor? The non-fluff reason all the Dark Angels now have the green armor that they wear was back when Angels of Death Codex came out, either 2nd edition or 3rd edition, before the Deathwing happened and all that. The only reason the Dark Angels wear dark green instead of black is because of what the hell was his name? He used to be a big-time developer for GW, and I think he's still around. Jervis. Jervis had just started a Dark Angels army and didn't like black, red, and white armor, and he liked the green better. And that's why they all went green.
Are you serious? That's a crappy... Yep. Oh, man.
But when they retcon the fluff every time, that's why Luther's army actually wears green, and the angels that followed the lion wore black armor.
Somebody said in the chat earlier, I want to say it was Nerdopolis Prime, that it is actually written into the fluff too, that the ones in the old school black armor were actually the Dark Angels that were Terran born.
Yeah. If you go back and read the fluff, the original 20 legions, the closest legion that still wears the same armor would be the Death Guard, because all armor was basically just ceramic gray. Only the shoulder pads and stuff differentiated and changed until after they found their founding Primarch. And then the colors were changed due to that Primarch's taste.
We're not playing.
It's pretty cool.
Nerdopolis Prime says you are correct. Jervis Johnson is the guy's name.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the cheek.
And then he also says that.
All right, Lou.
That's what they call forbidden knowledge out nowadays. Every Primarch got a strength from their their father, the Emperor, and Vulcan got his perpetual aspect, his ability to keep being reborn.
The foot of the bed.
Yep.
Lucy.
I really think that it's an opportunity for the Emperor to come back to life. Something's going to happen where he's going to come back. I mean, whether in GW lore or in the game itself.
I was about to say, I think that's one of those things that's going to be like one of something that'll forever be talked about and it might get referenced in lore here and there. I don't think they'd ever actually do, because there's no way you could ever balance that, you know? Somebody who literally cut a sun in half with a flaming sword.
Hey.
It could happen.
It's like, it would be like one dude the size of like a little bigger, you know, a little bigger than Gilliman, and is like, but has the stats of a
Warlord Titan?
Imperator class Titan.
But what if he didn't yet? Okay, so here's the thing. One of the things that, and maybe you can correct me on this one and help me with this one, but that he has been around before, you know. It's almost like a reincarnation thing where he's come back each time stronger, than he was before. So what if he doesn't just, somehow something happens where he gets a rebirth, if you will, and doesn't have knowledge of all his powers or anything, I mean, that would make sense. He's just like the some of the Primarchs when they were cast out, they really didn't have a whole lot of knowledge of who they were, and why they were what they were. I don't know. It could happen.
Well, in the line of forbidden knowledge,
yeah.
If you go back and read all the stuff that they published on the Emperor, they believed at one point the Emperor wasn't a single being. He was supposed to be like multiple shamans from different tribes and all that.
Right.
That as they found out they were perpetuals, each time they were reborn, there was fewer and fewer of them as it went along until finally they were born as a single person.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the next step from that?
Right. Well,
And at the same time, you've got the fluff that disappeared on the Sensei and the Gray Sensei, which would take multiple attacks over multiple hours to get to the heart of.
Right.
Man, I love Earl Grey so much.
And it loves you.
All right, so awesome talk about Primarchs, guys. Really enjoyed that. Let's take a second to talk about our hobby discussion. Actually, before I do that, can we talk about hobby of the week for real quick? Are your hands in a good place to put up the screen?
Oh,
hand check. Hand check. He's got a shiny.
All right, let's see here. Lights are here.
Put that down. You're not supposed to put that on TV.
So I mentioned how powerful the Emperor would have to be. Nerlopolis Prime says, with his powers, I can only think of the Emperor returning as a Star Destroyer in Battlefleet Gothic.
Exactly.
I want that planet right there.
Okay, what are we looking at, Methos?
The art of the week?
Yep. Okay, let me pull up this one real quick.
Art of the weekend, art of the weekend. Stole that song from Outside Access. Wait, no. Outside Extra. Go check out Outside Extra if you like video games.
Look at that. Gotta find. Okay. That'll be. Okay. I'm just pulling the links up, guys. Bear with me.
You are good, my brother. I am just laying down some metallics on the shoulder pads, so that way later I can gloss them and put decals on them, as our UK friends would say. Which it's like 4 a.m. over there, so I don't know if any of them will ever see this, but
No, Dorn sees, and he's still going to come to your house and punch in an ad. There we go.
I forgot. Why is he punching me in the nads?
For your naysaying about Dorn. Oh, wait. What the? Okay. Yeah, you're naysaying about Dorn. Well, I don't think he really come back, and he couldn't handle the truth. And then Dorn will be like, ding dong.
I mean,
oh, that's my pizza. No, it's not your pizza. It's Dorn. Boom. Right in that. There you go.
I'm not naysaying him per se. I'm just saying, man.
No. Explain it to him when he shows up at your door. No, it's okay. We're good. Just, you know what? You have a chat with him when he shows up, 20-foot tall dude, hey, so what you talking about? really? I can't handle it. You know, and yeah, you have that conversation. Anyway, here we are. So this is an art of the week. HellChyld, you want to talk about that, bud?
Well, with Abaddon's release that they did, I've been studying up on my Black Wolf conversion, and I've been checking out what everybody else has been doing with the new Abaddon kit. And there was two that I shared with you that really caught my attention. One on paint scheme, one on repositioning.
Let me see. I think I've got the other one here.
I'm on the chat. I will be back in a couple of minutes. The thing I liked about this one is it's very the first one is very reminiscent of the original Chaos artwork for Horus.
Right.
And I really love the palette that they used. And I mean, if someone told me that this was Horus and I'd been in the hobby less time than I have, I would have believed them.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a
instead of a mix.
Right. Yeah, definitely has like a mix of the Horus for sure.
So he's like the ultimate son of Horus, the way the dude painted it and everything else.
Right.
And definitely, they all the people that succeeded as one of the sons of Horus, the biggest thing is that they were all ones that were so close to him genetically that they looked like him,
Right.
Yeah, so like the son of Horus that they called Little Horus, right, because he looked like a miniature version of Horus up until his accident. But I really like the second one because of the positioning actually updates the model, even though the model's been out, 24 hours maybe?
Yeah.
But this one, it's like it blends both. You can tell it's Abaddon, but it's like Abaddon getting to fill Horus's position.
Right. I don't know. I have to agree with you. The first one kind of gives that sense of, almost like the same demon or whatever war essence that has driven Horus mad, that Abaddon would be the one carrying it. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it looks like. Yeah. Like, he's taking on the mantle of the war master.
Yeah, he's taking on the mantle.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What do you think, Methos?
Looks awesome. I really love that purple to pink transition on the sword.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Yeah, the guy did. I'll tell you what, the artist did a really good job with the glow effects, the glow on the inside of the Terminator armor in the helm area. I mean, that's
that's cool. I also really like the way the red light kind of emanates from the ruby in the middle of that Chaos Star out on his belt.
Yeah, and including the grin, that evil grin right here.
The thing I like about this piece also is it's done by Migzilla, and he's off the Bolter and Chainsword. And I've been watching his stuff for like 15 years now, and this dude has never failed to stun you.
Awesome work, man.
He's able to do.
Consistently knocking out of the park for years, huh?
Nice.
Yeah, it's like every year his stuff just gets better and better, and I'm like, why he doesn't have a shelf of golden demons, I don't know, but it's probably because he don't care.
Yeah,
he does it to have fun and stuff like that. And I mean, I know that he got a couple of golden demons at one point. I believe he did, but he's not one of these that has to go out every year and put his stuff out and say, I'm better than you. He's like, I did this because this is what I have
He's
in my
comfortable
mind,
with his own success. Yeah.
And he's one of those painters that he's willing to, if you ask him for critiques and stuff like that, he's not $2.99 an hour.
Right.
He'll let you know where he thinks he would have changed something or little bits of this and that. I mean, he's
I like those kind of people. I like those kind of people that are down to earth and not full of themselves, and they're willing to lend themselves, as critiques, mentors, and all that. That's cool. Freaking awesome, dude.
You're awesome.
All right. So
I hope my Black Wolf comes out half as well.
Dude, we've seen your work. I think it definitely will. I think it'll surpass what you think it will have. I'm curious. I can't wait to see it, man.
Me either.
Okay. So here is my entry. And of course, I am definitely biased. So I have a Leviathan that I have yet to put together and paint. And this right here is how I would definitely like to make it look. This I love. Okay. I love that combination of the yellow with the dark oranges and the browns. The shading and the highlighting on this just looks really, really, really good. And I love, if you look at right here on this on the melee weapon, the metallic glow or the metallic, yeah. I mean, it's just, again, and that looks like it's partially airbrushed and then dry brushed with a highlight. Just an incredible job. Just looks amazing. Now, the only thing that I think I would struggle with is the scratch marks and the weathering. This guy did it all. I mean, this looks like this Levy has been in battle and doesn't care. Man,
to be brutally honest, Freak, if I didn't know you didn't paint this because of the style that he used and the colors and stuff, I could have swore this was in your army.
It does look like the exact same palette.
Yeah, and it's because that's
It's almost like
what
he's
I'm
been watching your videos and said, "Hey, he's progressing from there."
Yeah, I've adopted. Yeah, no, I've adopted this particular palette, this style, because I love the transitions. It just works. It's just a beautiful, beautiful transition. That's what I fell in love with the Imperial Fist. But this guy just took it to a whole new level with the scratch and score marks, including water damage, including scores. And look at this, even the scratches. This is what blows me away. The scratches actually have water damage. That's just phenomenal. I mean,
what's crazy is most people would look at this and go, he had to go in there with a Dremel or a hobby knife or something to make all that. But I've seen enough paint tutorials and stuff like that's nothing but paint and washes and inks. And
exactly.
That is the level that I want to reach at some point.
Exactly. That you got it dead on. That's exactly my point. This guy, I mean, all these scratches and marks and score marks, these are all painted. This is all done by, I've seen it done, man. I mean, because if you would put pass your hand over it, it would be perfectly smooth. It just gives that appearance or the illusion of it being, pitted and damaged. And look, like right here, you can see he colored the holes. They look like bullet holes, but he did the highlight on the edge to make it look like it's capturing light. So it makes it look like it's a hole, And you know what it reminds me of? A caterpillar tractor or a backhoe or something like that.
Camera, and I'm trying to talk, and the boys keep.
So anyway, looking at this definitely makes me want to put mine together, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So,
little known fact: I drove a Caterpillar 906 for about a year. Mine never looked that cool though.
Okay. Well, there you go. And there was another entry. Let's see. Where is it? There it is. Another one that I
I have
like.
to say, I blame you, right? This don't normally capture my attention, although, after being teamed up with the fist for a certain number of years, I definitely they are definitely eye catching to me now. That is a mastodon,
Yep.
and if you'll go up, credit for the picture. I took this off the Instagram of Sleepwalker Airbrush.
Yep.
Also, big Redbeard Boss or Redbeard Boss.
Yep.
I'm going to get it wrong. But Redbeard Boss put it up saying that it was on the GW table there at Adepticon. So that's somebody on the GW team.
Wow.
Who painted that up to look that good.
Dude.
And of course, the thing that caught my attention is it wasn't the overtly bright yellow that normally is like retina burning, and it's the kind of fist that I normally am not drawn to, and honestly, and I don't mean any bashing to anyone who paints this way, but I don't really care for often the yellow and red fists. I like that this is the yellow and black fists.
I agree. Yep.
It looks phenomenal together.
Well, and you know what?
I'm gonna go out on a limb, but I'm gonna say Freak's style, his re-imaging of the Imperial Fists has awakened many Imperial Fists, and this is where that's coming from.
I think so. I'm seeing a lot of this, and I really do like this. As a matter of fact, my last my what is it? My Contemptor Dreadnought. Okay, first of all, I found one online that had the black, the shoulders, and it wasn't the yellow and the red, and this was the yellow and the black, and that just drew me. I'm like, okay, you know what? That looks sexy as hell. I want to do that, and oh man, it turned out fantastic. So, yeah, I'm like all my big vehicles and my dreadnoughts and the Leviathans and all that. I'm telling you, they're going to look like that. They're going to have that yellow and the black combination. It just looks really, really good. It
looks sharp for sure.
Yeah, I really do like that. And look at this. This is what I do like. And again, attention to detail with the shading. You can see here the shading and shadowing, and of course dirt. Again, another guy who's really, really good with weathering.
Weathering pigments and powders and stuff. This kid did a fantastic job.
Yeah, amazing. Look at this. Is something you see in the back of a tractor, or this is like, okay, the backhoe, something that big heavy machinery.
He did his research, that's for sure.
Yeah, he did. Oh man, look at that rust marks, the tracks. Oh, jeez.
What wash do you normally use with your fist, Freak?
Go to bed.
I use let's see. I actually use Seraphim Sepia for the majority of my washes.
I think that's one of the things that I usually like about yours and this one too is that normally with this I see a lot of Agrax.
Right.
And it's got the obvious like slightly dingy look that Agrax brings.
Right.
But here, you'll notice in the recesses, it's more of that reddish tone that could be sepia, or it could be maybe even Reichland flesh shade, to give it that bright red in the cracks that I think really, it's like, I'm sorry, not a bright red, not like Imperial Fist yellow red, but like a red shading to it. Like it's that. Yeah, and it looks good in all the recesses, almost as if, it is kind of light reflecting off of different places, and casting that kind of tinted shadow into some of those recesses.
I think, and that's what I enjoy. Because here's the thing: when I actually do my pin washing, I'll gloss the model over really well, and then I'll get the Seraphim Sepia, and I'll drop it in the recesses, right, all the crevices, and they start running right through the channels. And it's dark enough to really make a contrast, to show the edges and show the corners and show the crevices, but light enough where it doesn't make the entire model look dingy. It's like a balance for me. It's a good balance of color I don't know. It just works for my models. You know?
Color and realism. That's
Yeah,
what I'm looking for, realism.
right.
Because a lot of the old 40K stuff seemed like it was straight out of a comic book.
Exactly.
Hey. Some of us still like
Just
painting in
waded right
comic book
across the
style.
battlefield and didn't get a stitch of mud anywhere.
Honestly, I just came here to have a good. I just came out to have a good time, and honestly, I'm feeling so attacked right now.
Yeah. Yo, you wait till Dorn shows up at your doorstep. I'm just all right. Anyway,
so that way the Wolf King can also show up and kick him in the nads. Wow.
Right. I don't know, man. He only has one heart, so we'll see what happens.
All I know is you guys keep doing this debate between Roost and Dorn, sucker punching and Ned kicking. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a fight diorama between Dorn and Roost.
You're
Roost
right.
throwing a boot and Dorn throwing a punch.
That would be good. Yeah.
You know, it's especially cool because Russ has those studded greaves. Can you imagine those spikes kicking somebody in the nads? Oh man.
Oh no. But of course, ground rules, right? Not the chest, not the chest. Okay.
Yeah, if they were fighting Fulgrim, it'd be not the face, not the face.
Right? That's a moneymaker, you know. Like,
oh my God! Did anybody see that meme that went around this last week, or it may have been last week? That was Ferrus Manus in the middle of a battle, sieged on all sides, and he goes, "Dad told me exactly what I should do for this situation." And it's like the Emperor over his shoulder going, "Remember, Ferrus, if you're ever in trouble," and then his mind wanders off to Fulgrim in his armor saying, "My new armor feels like I'm wearing nothing at all." It just zooms in, nothing at all. Nothing at all.
God.
Damn it, stupid sexy Fulgrim. I saw that meme and I died laughing. I literally, and I haven't done this in a while, I literally spit my coffee out.
oh my gosh.
Nothing at all.
Well, here's what I've got so far with this one. Actually, it's come out pretty good. I got a little bit left to do. Not sure if you guys.
That's almost as bad as the old meme that had Fulgrim singing "My milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard." Probably 5-6 years ago, and it still pops into my head from time to time.
That's hilarious. Oh, I mentioned feeling attacked when you were talking about people who paint in the comic book styles, which is my favorite style of painting at the moment. And Roxas goes, "Now you know how I feel every single time you talk about the towel." That's fair. Touche, sir. Touche.
Well, I can't say anything. I started when I first started painting miniatures forever ago. I actually was painting them in the old military artistic style. Like most of my first Marines actually wore camo. And then somebody told me, well, the codex says that they don't wear camo. And I was like, then what the hell are the scouts wearing? Thongs?
Yes.
And then I actually think it was a Blood Angels army that I was painting for somebody else. And he said, I want it just like the boxes.
Oh, man.
And I did the army just like the boxes. And I was like, it's a fun way to paint, but it's not my thing. I can't do it. So I haven't done it since then.
That's funny. That's that artistic license that you always try to push for, you know?
Right?
Is that an adult massage device, Freak?
No, nothing.
All right, so
I thought he was giving himself a manicure.
Coincidentally, that's what it is. It is a little manicure. I stole it from my daughters. My girls hate me because I always steal stuff like Look at this. Perfectly good dry brush, y'all.
That was about what I was about to say. Those they make them makeup brushes right there make the best dry brushes.
Absolutely. Look at that. Look at that. I'm telling you, if your wife gets tired of brushes or she's got a lot of them, she may not miss them. So, yeah.
Or you do like I do, and every so often you ask your other half if they need a new one because theirs is starting to look bad, and they go, "Oh yeah, I can use one. Okay, let me buy one, and then you can just give me that one."
Yep.
Okay.
That works. Works.
Just making sure you clean that thing out.
Yeah, you don't want your stuff looking all powdery. So.
I mean, unless you're doing Martian wasteland bases, and then hit them with hit them on the legs. It looks about the same.
Yeah, this thing looks like it does really well. A little battery charged Dremel does a really good job. You know.
Brian says, "Dude, you guys are still on?
No.
Hey, get some sleep. The minis will be there tomorrow." So we got about half an hour left in our stream. And before we end up the night, I do want to go on to our hobby topic this week.
Yes.
And talk about sub-assemblies. You know, do you see any benefits of painting them fully assembled? Which having done commissions, I can definitely say that painting fully assembled is faster, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is it sometimes a pain in the ass? Yes. What are your thoughts, guys?
Me and Freak touched on this a little bit earlier, and he told me to save it for now. But painting sub-assemblies versus fully assembled models, I think it all comes down to the model. Like tanks, if you're painting tanks and you don't have some of the guns on or the turrets or whatever, you're still painting a model pretty much fully assembled.
Right.
But you don't have those odd little paint angles where you're like, do they make an S-shaped thrust so I can get up in there?
Right.
Where, like with the Black Wolf, I know when I get ready to paint him, he's going to be in pieces. Because I've got that little nitpick in the back of my head. Everybody's like, but you can't see it. I don't care if you can't see it. I know.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, when you're painting a model, are you painting it for everybody else to look at? Partially. But you're painting it for you, mostly. And it will drive you crazy knowing that you didn't paint the top of the inside of that cape because nobody else can see it. Yeah. Especially when you're pushing the increased shades and tones and highlights and making it the way you want it. And that one little thing will drive you crazy after 15 years.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so
I've actually popped bottles apart to repaint bits that I missed because I assembled it fully.
Here's something that I want to bring to the highlight. Okay, so I've one of my favorite painters, and it's Methos. I mean, Methos likes him more than I do, but this guy, I painted, right? And he is a phenomenal airbrush painter. He's a commissioned painter. I haven't seen anything lately from him. I don't know if he's still in business or if he's still doing stuff. But
I think he does sleep therapy now.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's a sleep therapist. But anyway, this guy does phenomenal work.
You wouldn't happen to have his number? I could really use some of that.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and link his YouTube page. You'll be asleep in no time. I like him. I do. He's got a lot of good info. But interestingly enough, he actually paints tanks disassembled. He never paints them assembled. And I find that really interesting because for me, I find it's actually easier for me to paint it assembled instead of sub-assembly. You know, it's the weirdest thing. And he does, and it comes out really great. you know, all his colors pop. They're vibrant, and especially because he does Imperial Fists, you know. But I just, like you said, I mean, I would not want to run the risk of missing or not having the tones even, because when you start doing the sub assemblies, right, you run the risk of painting it, having some panels uneven in color. Makes sense?
Yeah. It makes a lot of
Brian
sense.
says, push away from the
Same problem
table,
when you
take a
do
breath of
normal.
life.
Wait, what did he say?
I said, Brian says, push away from the table, take a breath of life.
Yeah, where's your dust mask, man? That can't be healthy to breathe.
Must have more resin. Ah.
But no, I agree with what you're saying completely, Freak, because like it doesn't matter if you're painting one of your captains with the cloaks and everything else, or if you're painting a mastodon. You have to make sure you're watching what you're doing because you don't want, I mean, it would be kind of weird if the top of the side of the tank was real bright and catching light and all that. And then you go up onto the top and suddenly there's this real dark shadow where nothing is falling over the panel to cast the shadow.
Yeah. I don't know. Methos, how do you, what's your preference?
I definitely prefer subassembly. Like, and I'm like a half seas kind of guy. Like, I'll paint, you know, a large part of the model assembled. I don't subassemble everything, but at the same time, like, I'm the guy who will 90% build a Marine, but leave off one arm or both arms if I need to. Or if
Okay.
it's a pose like this where they've got one melee weapon and one sidearm, you know, it's an open up pose where I'll paint the whole thing together. Vehicles, like you said, vehicles are so much easier for me to paint, especially since I've taken up airbrushing. They're so much easier for me to assemble and then paint because I can plan on where I want to put my highlights now. And it's harder for me to see that in subassembly. Now I can understand, and I joke about Bipaint all the time, but he's such a phenomenal painter that it probably all just clicks together in his head. He probably sees the full 3D render of it as he's painting. I've even seen where I think it might have been him where I saw him do some of his airbrushing on the sprue and then put it assemble it. And yeah, and he knew exactly where he wanted to highlight the panels and stuff like that. And to me, I got to see it all together, right? It's got to be there physically in person. I can look at it and say, this is what I want to do. But I've always, and I think this may be my ADD, I've always struggled with internalizing information like that. Whereas, like, if somebody asks me a question, even like it's something simple, like, you know, how do you spell this or what's 32 plus 51? Yeah, I have to break out a pen and write it down. And if I write it down, I can spell it correctly or add it correctly. It's just my brain needs to see the information.
Yeah, get it. Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, yeah, I think I've seen him do that. He'll actually paint him on the sprue, and he knows the exact tones. Like, how though, how? So again, it just shows you the level of artistry and mastery that he is. I mean, he definitely is a master at what he does.
Then I have to say, so like I got in the habit of, like I think doing my first big commission with Night Lords really put me in a lot of good habits because I wanted to do an extra good job for my client. So I got in the habit of pinning everything, subassembling everything. And I took way longer on projects than was often needed because I got into these habits literally for everything. But now, after getting my AdMech army, and a lot of that gift was all no, all of that gift was already pre-assembled and glued together, and it was with plastic glue. So I wasn't really going to be taking those apart without exploding the model. And so I had to learn to, okay, I'm going to do this without subassembly
how am I going to do that? So it was really an interesting lesson.
That's a very, very good point.
Carefully.
Yeah, that's a very good point because the majority of my the aggressor commission or salamander commission that I did for I've been doing, they've all been completely assembled. I mean, hence this, these guys here, which means okay, they're assembled. I mean, and the cool thing is that I can actually do the highlighting and the basing and all that, but you've got a lot of coverage to make. I mean, especially even priming, you still have to be careful in priming and make sure you have an even coat all around, getting all the crevices and everything. And then the intricate details, right? The hoses, the plating, the weapons, the weapon tips, all the little nuances and all, you still have to catch all that. When you're painting a lot of models at one time, and they're already glued, man, I mean, it definitely slows you down, but you kind of have to roll with the punches, right?
Actually, so like my AdMech army that I did where it was already pre-assembled, some of it I ended up painting faster, even though I had to be careful and spin cloaks around. Like I like the way you described it earlier, spin it around like a rotisserie, trying to find the right angle to paint something or other. But the fact that I wasn't stopping to pin and sub-assemble everything, I think that's the only reason why I managed to paint the entire army in 1 year.
Yeah, that's a good point, man.
Because you didn't have to focus on the building aspect. You were able to focus on the painting aspect.
Correct. Have I mentioned before I don't like building?
Really?
I think you might have mentioned it once or twice.
Once or twice.
An episode.
That's why I got a box full of towel I'm shipping out to Richard in the morning.
You do it.
See,
can you just do it for me?
I like the painting aspect, but to me, I think the biggest aspect of the whole process for me is the building. But I like that they give you a box and they go, "This is the way it's supposed to look," and I go, "Nope."
Yeah, you've always been contrary to that.
I still have people telling me, "What the hell were you thinking when you turned Horus into the Black Wolf?" And I said, "I was thinking about the Black Wolf.
It just looks so.
How can I make this figment of my imagination and my story become a physical manifestation that everybody can see?"
And that is what, again, it's artistic and poetic license, I think, is one of the nicest things and the freedoms that you have. And hence the reason why I really, really think you would be amazing with your channel, but you really need to get cranking on.
Well, I'm just thinking that I have a surplus of money coming in now, so I can possibly get some other equipment and stuff and do it right. I don't want to do it, not to be vulgar, but I don't want to do it half-assed.
Gotcha.
That's why I ask you whacked out questions at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Never mind. I forgot my question.
Right. Good talk.
Oh, right. I'm just glad that I finally stopped having people ask me for the past year if I'm playing Chaos Wolves. And you know what? If no one heard these conversations in a gaming aspect, like most people would think that we're having a racist discussion, I think. Because there's some assumption going. Huh?
It's like me talking about work. I'm pretty sure if a cop was sitting there listening, they'd be like, "These fuckers are selling drugs."
I'm so tired. I'm not tired. I'm thankful it stopped. That people are like, "Are you playing Chaos Wolves?" No, they're Space Wolves. But they're black. I think the introduction of blue into my color scheme, though, helps people relate it to Space Wolves a little better, though. So I think that over the last year has helped a little.
Yeah.
I think you just had to deal with the conniving twats that can't use their imagination.
Yeah, that too. That's an issue.
But it's funny online. Well, not every once in a while. I still have someone online, but online I tend to face a little less like, well, these aren't the color space wolves are supposed to be. Then I tend to hear in person. But I think it's not even judgment. Sometimes I think I just genuinely confuse some people.
Hmm.
Well, if it helps any Mythos, back when second edition came out and the Codex Angels of Death first popped up, there was a dude in our gaming group that was a really big Blood Angels player. I mean, like, we're talking probably, I want to say like 92, 93 was about the time this happened. And at that time, this dude probably had like 14 to 16K in points of Blood Angels.
Like Crew
And then
Angela Sicily.
Yeah.
they introduced Death Company. And I can still remember the look on a kid's face when he saw my buddy's army on the table and it was all Death Company. So you've got all these black armored Marines with red X's everywhere. And the kid looked at my buddy and said, "So what army is that?" And my buddy looked at him, deadpan face, the whole 9 yards, and goes, "Blood Angels." And the utter look of confusion that creeped across this kid's face was priceless. And he goes, "But I thought Blood Angels were red."
Like blood red.
And then my
Like, what are
buddy
you
turned around
doing?
and blew this dude's mind because he goes, "Oh no, Blood Angels are gold and white and red and black." And this kid's like, "I don't understand." Yeah, literally. It's like you see a nuclear mushroom cloud pop out of the top of his kid's head. He's trying to figure out what's going on.
What is happening?
And my buddy had to break out his codex and let this kid flip through the pictures before he goes, "Oh, I understand now." I just think the same thing has to happen with the people that are looking at your wolves. You don't have to hold their hand that bad, but I still think they need to sit there and just open their damn mind for 5 or 10 minutes while they're looking at your artistic interpretation of wolves and go, "He's not looking at it the same way I do."
Definitely. Oh man.
Because I mean, I know people Imperial Fists and go, "But Imperial Fists don't have any orange on them." Well,
Yeah.
sucks to be you.
That's yeah.
Look past the bound streak on your nose and figure out people are going to paint the stuff the way they want to. Not because you say, "I got this book and it says they're this color."
That's a real good point.
I mean, I know somebody that has a pink Ultramarines army.
Good point.
And the whole reason it's pink is not because he's jacking with the Ultramarine players or anybody else. He did it as a breast cancer awareness army.
Oh, that's cool. I like to show off Richard's breast cancer awareness Marine. Any chance that I can.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome.
So yeah, I think I have to do the eyes on these helmets that I'm working on, and then some Nolan oil and highlights on my cavalry duders, and then the base. So I should have my
all 7 cavalry completed by tomorrow.
Nice.
Nice.
Hey,
And I just ordered some cavalry bases for the awesome cavalry that I got from Sergeant Oddballs. So that way they can match my current basing, kind of tie them in with my army a little bit. And then I will have 10 Thunderwolf cavalry riders. Just the riders. Not to include my Candace Wolfborn, my Harold Death Wolf, my Iron Priest on Wolf. So it'll be a total of 16 Thunderwolves. I made a list today with all 16 of them, Freak, and all 20 Thunderwolves.
Oh, yay.
Not Thunderwolves, Fenrisian Wolves.
Oh, yay again.
Hey, Methos, I'll see if I can get pictures of this dude's army that's out here. I think you would enjoy his army because last time I looked at it, I want to say he had 10 cyber wolves and it's like 60 or 70 Frenzian wolves, and then he's got 45 different thunder wolves.
Wow.
Where he repositioned like legs and different stuff like that. And then I think he's getting close to like 40 wolfen.
Jeez, that's just.
He said, "What's a wolf army without wolves?"
Yeah, I know, but I mean, at what point do you not go get to borderline fanaticism? I'm just saying.
Well,
I like wolves.
He's also got Iron Warriors. And I think his Iron Warriors are more fanatical than his Space Wolves are.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to start winding this down, guys. It's kind of late for me, so.
I got one last question for you guys, and it has to deal with painting.
Go for it.
It popped into my head with Methos showing off the helmets. When you guys are painting heads, do you find it easier to put it on something like a paint pot or a stick or something like that to paint it? Or do you find it easier to paint it on the model?
For me, it's separate. I would. Okay, first of all, if it's not attached to the model, then yeah, I would actually drill a hole underneath it, and I would actually do this. Do exactly that, where have a little paper clip, a little rod goes underneath the bottom of the skull, and then I can actually paint it like that. It's more of a challenge to actually paint it if it's on the model. I don't like doing it. If there's a way that I can rip it off the model, then I'll do it. Otherwise, I mean, you do what you can, but I don't think I do my best work with it on the model.
I agree. I like Mito was saying with sub-assemblies on his Marines, how he'll leave an arm off or he'll leave both arms off or whatever. I don't put the heads in.
I find that the majority of especially experienced painters, and professional painters, they will do it with them off the models. Matter of fact, there's a bunch of them. You'll see them on Instagram. Well, they'll have like a whole wall or slew of different heads that they painted separately, right? And they're just like that. They're on some type of I don't know.
Yeah, I've got a friend like that. He buys, I don't know what size they are, but they're these little bitty corks.
Right.
That might be like a ½ inch tall and maybe a quarter of an inch wide or whatever. And there's a head on all of them. I keep telling him that he's impersonating Vlad the Impaler. But the way he is like,
he says
he finds a head, paints it up, gets it all done, and then goes, when I find the body for it, I'll take it off the paper clip.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, paper clips are amazing, man. Yeah. I just feel old, Nerdopolis. I'm just tired, man. I had a long week. So yeah, I know. I might be a lightweight. I used to be able to handle it, man. I used to be able to do the whole night thing, and can't do it no more. So,
It's called adulting. We all got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Definitely. Anyway, well, guys, I got to roll. Methos, what
I
time
think
is our
Methos
game tomorrow?
finally digged out.
Where'd he go?
I think he left the chat about a minute ago.
I got up at 3 a.m. today to catch up my first plane. He didn't tell me where the heck. No, I think he got bumped. Methos, what time? I'm game tomorrow. Yeah, man, I'm supposed to be going to his house to go play a game.
That's cool. Definitely cool.
He's been needing a game, and we haven't played in a long time. I don't think he's had a game anytime this year. So we've tried to get together and haven't had a chance to do it. So anyway, hold on. Let me see if I can send him. Let me see. Did he get bombed though? Oh, his phone died. Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to do the outro without him. So, guys, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Big thanks to HellChyld. Great topics, man. It was great having you on the show. Great having you contribute to a lot of this. And you know what, man? It just gives a really good different perspective. You've got a lot of great knowledge, since you've had experience with Warhammer going a long ways back, and to have, to be able to share that with me, especially, I mean, that means a lot, and it goes a long way. So thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us, man.
It was my pleasure. I enjoyed it a lot.
It was a kick in the butt, man. We totally had a good time. We're gonna have to do it again. And definitely, dude, whatever you need from us to get you, kick started on that channel, man, let us know. I mean, I think you got good material. You got, you're a great painter. You're a good artist, man, and you're an amazing, conversion artist. So I think you go a long way with that channel. People want to see that kind of stuff, man. It's like, how you do that. So, I encourage you, man, really strongly encourage you to, even if it's a 5-minute long video, it goes a long way. But anyway, thanks again so much, man, for hanging out with us, and, especially coming from Methos. And he said, thanks as well. So guys, if you absolutely love what you're seeing here, and again, we would not have made our 500 subscribers milestone without you. You've helped us push over that. Now we're at 555 last we checked, and thank you so much. If you're not yet a subscriber, I'm sorry, I should have put that mask on because now I got the tickle in my throat. Anyway, if you're not yet a subscriber, then you know what Methos is going to say. You grab up a hammer and you smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. And if you're not yet a subscriber, then look, what Brother Methos, myself, and our brother HellChyld would love for you to be part of the pack here at the Frost and Fist. And until next time, Thomas, you ready for this, bud?
Oh, yeah.
Stay frosty.
Frosty.
Take care, guys.